This broadcast from IOF TV is brought to you by Commentator and Lumonite.
Good morning and welcome to this final day of the ski orienteering international season with the World Cup finish here in Hanja, Estonia. This small village that is in the southeast part of Estonia, and it's quite close to the both Russian and Latvian borders. Actually, there are less than 200 residents living in Hanja, Estonia, but they have a town called Varu, only about 10 kilometers here, that are the regional city. For those who watched yesterday, we saw the pursuit with, I would say, a really demanding pursuit. With the trickiest thing was the route choices, either going straight on a lot of steep, medium-sized hills, or going a bit further, trying to round the elevation on the marshes in between. And it was, of course, differing a lot, but we can say in the end the best ski orienteers were in the top. Just as in Ramsau, we had the best skiers. Also here, I think it has been a small surprise in the result list, but mainly the fastest who was at the World Championship has also been the fastest here. There you saw the women course. We are starting with the women race today, and it's 8.8 kilometers, 20 control points, and 45 minutes estimated winning time. And you see also some weather conditions there. It has been really demanding, though, these 3 days we have been in Estonia with both heat and rain. But actually, some degrees colder and less moist in the air, which means that the snow might have dried up a bit and will probably be a bit faster today and suit other athletes comparing to yesterday when it was really, really mushy, really heavy. And you saw there number 113, Amanda Lifutka, going away. She was 7th at the sprint and 9th at the pursuit, and she is a junior, so she is also competing in the Junior 23 World Championship today. Here we will get to see the course, and it's directly into demanding track, dense narrow track system, to the first control and then to the second. Quite tricky route choice, trying to find their way. Then a shorter control to the third, and then we get a longer leg again. And I think on this leg to the fourth control, they will probably go out on the meadows to the right and taking a curve to the right and then in from the right. And then we have some, I would say, not so hard route choices on these small controls, but you really have to be in the skio technical part. And then we have a long leg again, and I have been looking at this, and I think they will go down to the south and going around. You see there's a black road, and those have been able to ski, and they are still able to ski, but the hard weather have made the conditions on them quite much trickier. So I'm not certain if they have the guts to go out on the black road for a long part. Then we come into the arena after the 11th control, and then a map change, and then going out in a totally different way. And we saw in the end to this 12th control in the end yesterday, there were some mistakes in this part, and then they will go up over the road again, and I think they will go to the left or using the black road, the small part there. And then 17th control turning away back to the arena again. And then we just have the sprint from the 20th control into the finish. As I said, I think it will be really technical for the athletes out there. Also, we saw that the tracks, they have been quite... it has been windy, so a lot of branches and leaves and out in the snow, and making it harder to see the tracks. Here we see the start list, and we see that we have had some of the athletes starting already. And number 110, Ella Turesson, started early. She was fourth in the sprint, had a worse day yesterday, but she had a great start. I will come back to that. Then we come later in the start list. We see some of the better ranked athletes. And then on the last list, we see here Magdalena Olsson, Anna Ulvensson, Daisy Kuder-Schneider. Those are the main favorites, I would say. And as I said, Ella Turesson, the Swede, has already passed Lotteline Ekström, who was 9th on the sprint. And she started 2 minutes behind her, and she had actually caught her up already to the second control, which means it's important to see the which way and which route choice you should take. And Lotteline, she had a rough start, and Ella goes to the right here on the long leg to the fourth control. We see Nelly Mortensen coming into the fourth control. She has been doing the straight route choice, and we see Lotteline turning around, making a small micro route choice loss there. And as I said, to the 8th control, this black road has been made non-drivable, so they are going on the south part of that road on the wide track, and I think that is probably the route choice that most of the athletes will use. It's quite tricky to go out to the left. It's very nice coming into the control from the left or from above in the picture, but it's quite tricky out there on the marsh. So I think a lot of skiers will almost back up from the 7th control, going out to the left and just going around all the way. But we will see. And as I said, this is both the World Cup, but it's also the Under-23 World Championship. We had the sprint distance for those, and Ella Turesson, Swede, won the gold there, and she was ahead of Maria Hoskari, Finland, and Amanda Ylifutka, and then Lotteline Ekström at the 4th position. So those are... Also, there are 2 competitions in one competition, I was saying. We will have to try and keep control of that. We also see we will have some radio controls. At the first radio control at 2.3 kilometers, we are still waiting for Nelly Mortensen. And the lead there, actually, we have Liis-Marie Kaasu, Estonia. She was starting as number 3 today. No, it's number 1. So she's first in the group. But I think looking at the GPS, it looks like Elisa Madsena has catched some time on her after that. So here we see that the Women TV. Nelly Mortensen was just there, 17 seconds behind. But she's 1 minute ahead of Elisa Madsena, and it didn't look like it was 2 minutes between Elisa and Liis-Marie Kaasu. So we will see what happens there. And as I said, the best starters the best athletes are starting later. So I would say the biggest favorite, I think, Magdalena Olsson starts 11 o'clock, or so it's 30 minutes from now. Ingeborg Roll Mosland starting here, the young Norwegian, starting as number 116, and she's also going in the Junior 23 World Championship, and I think she can be able to do around top 10 in that class. She was a bit further down in the list on the sprint, but had a better day yesterday. And here we get to see to the first control, the first athletes. And you see directly they're going into this narrow track system. It's hard to keep the foresight where you should go to the second control. Nelly Mortensson turning around, and you see there are problem. They don't know exactly where to go. Strauta is missing. Lise-Marie Caso is missing. It looks like Emilia Tamoseviciute from Lithuania are doing some mistakes. I think actually should go almost like Lise-Marie Caso at the moment there, a bit more to the left. And even though she was clearly behind Nelly Mortensson earlier, she almost catched her and passed her. So Michaela Serbova was in the lead here, and we know she are just a few seconds behind Lise-Marie Caso at the fourth control. And she goes in there to the third control. I think that's the correct way. And it looks like she's going out to the left. It will be interesting to compare with the athletes that are going out to the right. Lise-Marie Caso, not certain how many seconds she were behind Michaela Serbova at the third control, but she was definitely 30-40 seconds behind. And you see, goes very fast on the right wide track here, and catching up a lot of seconds on the Czech athlete. Nelly Mortensson, who was the same as Lise-Marie Caso, looked like she also lost some seconds. Then a small micro route choice, wrong mistake from Michaela Serbova into the fourth control. So there we get to see. And now they are going almost, as I said, the same to these controls. It's not as much as a route choice, it's more keep composure and do the right corners and keep the speed with you, always moving. 115, Epp Holberg, the Estonian, is in the course here, going for the second control. And you see it's icy, it's a bit harder than yesterday and hard to, and then you see it's quite dense, not the dense narrow track system only, it's also dense between the trees, and we see some water. And you see, if you're able to keep maybe go a bit slower, but always keeping the speed with you, knowing, having the foresight when you come to the turn you should go there, and it didn't look like Epp had that really. Antonia Ehrhardt, the Austrian, starting at 10:34. And I also have to say that Ella Turesson now has been at the fourth control, and she's taking a big lead. She takes the lead with more than 2.5 minutes ahead of Lise-Marie Caso. And as I said, Ella, who was fourth at the sprint, had a really lousy day yesterday. She lost herself out on the meadows, and also had some difficulties in the end, ending at the 13th position. I think Ella wants to be higher up in the result list today, and with this start it looked like she has had a really good start and just working. And Lotteline Ekström didn't have any possibility to actually follow Ella. So she both look like she has had a good orienteering start, and also that she is doing very good technical. I saw that she was probably going a bit different than I was thinking to the second control, so it will be interesting comparing to the later starters there. You see directly into this forest, the Sprouse Forest for the athletes today. You see Ella is coming towards the 7th control. We see that Nelly Mortensson has catched up Laura Elisabeth Kristelan, and they are going to the left route choice. A bit, I would say, trickier in the beginning. And when they come out to the wide track, very fast into the control. And Michaela Serbova is doing some kind of middle route choice, going out to the south in the beginning, but then going over the road and into the meadows again. Ella Turesson looks like she is going for the left route choice or some kind of straight route choice here, because she's continuing out through the control. And you can see here at the TV control, Vilma Pesu has been there chasing her teammate Lotteline Ekström, just 26 seconds behind Ella Turesson, and that is a good start from Vilma Pesu, who also is under 23 athlete. She was 9th at the sprint in that class, but looking like a better start, clearly ahead of Lotteline Ekström. Ella Turesson, she wants to take the hill on the narrow track here. So it will be interesting to see. I think she will go a bit down, and I think she will lose because it's quite steep out up that hill. I think she will lose some seconds here, but we will have to wait and see. And then we know Vilma Pesu is only 26 seconds behind at the 4th control. So, and this long leg can be really decisive. Starting there, I would say 119, Lea Widmer in the white and red Swiss dress, going into the forest. And it looks like Florina Müller is doing a really interesting route choice to the 2nd control, going around all the way to the right. But I think she will lose some time. We see Amanda Ylifutka, the Finn. She was 3rd at the Junior 23 World Championship at the sprint distance and is looking for another medal. She looks like she has had a good start and taking the right route choice to the 4th control. And we see that Lotteline Ekström coming to the 7th control. Here we get to see out on the meadows, and you see the snow has it has taken hard on the snow, this rainy weather. I'm not certain which athlete this is, trying to realize that with a road. I actually think it's Amanda Ylifutka, the Finn, going there and passing the black road soon, coming towards the 4th control. Here we have Nina Kärne. Nina Kärne had a really good race yesterday, ending at the 8th position, losing the sprint finish against Maria Hoskari and Elian Deininger. So really close to the flower ceremony for Nina yesterday. I think she is a bit stronger in her body and will have she used her opponents yesterday good, and I think it will be tricky for Nina to be as fast today, going alone in the forest in this kind of course. So we see Ella Turesson has now taken the hill and coming out on the road again. And we know she was around 2.5 minutes. You should see 17:23. She was more than 3 minutes ahead of Lotteline Ekström. So I will try to keep some control there. I think she has lost time there, but I'm not certain. We have to wait 2-3 minutes until Lotteline passes the same position as Ella has done. Nina Kärne straight into the forest, looking at the map, and she knows where to go, going to the right, correct here in the start, and then taking the left, and are going down on the small lake and taking the control from the left. So as I said, you see Ella Turesson has come out on the wide track and now going in the south part. And I think that, as I said, she had 3 minutes down to Lotteline Ekström. And we see that this trail is around 2 minutes. It looks like she has lost quite doubtless on that route choice. Amanda Ylifutka coming into the 4th control, so we're waiting for her time there. She has passed Hibiko Sano, who started 2 minutes ahead of her. We have also had Lisa Marie Kasu at the Radio 2. After 4.7 kilometers, she had 38.16 there. Looking at this, we will see how fast they are, but looking at this, 45 minutes will be tough because she has 3 kilometers left to go out there. And Lotteline Ekström coming almost to the point where Ella was 2 minutes ago, and then we know it. Undoubtedly, Ella Turesson lost about a minute on that route choice in the beginning on this long leg. Then we know she has probably been passed by Vilma Peso. You see here, Florina Müller, as I was talking about, going around, all the way around this hill. But it's hard to go all the way around because she has to take some climb. She goes up there and she has to take some climb anyway. Going in on the narrow track. And I don't think that the route choice that Ella makes here is the best. I think she should go a bit more to the left. Not taking as much elevation. And you see Florina Müller is losing on that route choice. But for different skiers, there can be different good route choices. I think Florina is quite a technical ski orienteer, so she should have been going straight there. Here we have Lise-Marie Caso, the first starter, 39.57 after 5 kilometers. Then she has almost 3 kilometers left of the course. Taking some drink, I think that's good because she will probably be in need of that, be a bit longer out in the forest than planned. Looking at the GPS, I also see that actually Lottelini Ekström making another route choice than Ella Turesson, so it will be very interesting to see them again. Here we have Birgit Dorothea Kleppa-Madslien from Norway. She is also under 23, so she will be fighting for the medals and the World Cup positions today. So these athletes, they are competing in 2 classes. So, for example, as I said, Amanda Ylifutka, the Finn, she was 7th at the sprint, but she was 3rd at the Junior 23 World Championship sprint distance. So that's why. If you're older than 23, you cannot go in that class, and it's because trying to make a little less jump from the junior site to the senior site. Often it's quite tough to go up there. We have had at Radio 2, and probably will be coming to the arena quite soon, Elisa Madstena. She was more than 1 minute behind Lise-Marie Caso in the beginning, and now she is ahead of her. So we know that Lise-Marie Caso, she lost quite a lot in the part after the 4th control. Birgit also going into the forest, knowing exactly where to go. But as I said, it's hard to look at the leg to the 2nd control here. And here we get to see them out on the marsh. I think that was Johanka Simkova. Yes, it looks like the Czech athlete. And here we get to see them, the leaders. Ella Turesson, 26 seconds ahead of Vilma Peso. Then Aneska Lavakova, 3rd. And Amanda Ylifutka at 4th. So both Amanda Ylifutka and Lottelini Ekström losing quite a lot of time on Ella Turesson and Vilma Peso in the beginning. And here I think we might have Vilma Peso going over the road. And I would say she was 26 seconds behind Ella Turesson. But we know Ella Turesson lost about a minute on a route choice to the 8th control. So Vilma Peso definitely has the possibility to catch up on some time to Ella. And we have the Bulgarian green dress, Antonia Grigorova, with a lot of routine. I think she has a sprint relay medal with Stanimir Belomashev, the prominent Bulgarian men. Antonia, I think, is a strong cross-country skier and will probably struggle a bit with these route choices, but mainly with the map reading on these icy narrow tracks. And we will see. Going out in the forest. And if I would have been them, I would have tried to read to the 2nd control already there. Maybe going a bit slower right out from the start. Because we have seen that to the 2nd control, there has been a lot of different route choosing. And here we get to see the first starters. Nelly Mortensen going to the left there. The Swede, Mikaela Serbova leading. And then taking in, and Lisa Madsena going more to the south. And we will see when they come to the control. Nelly Mortensen, they have quite fast from this point. And actually, it looks like the left route choice is quite good. Mikaela Serbova coming there, but Elisa Madsena looks like she's first to that control. Quite close, but then we know that the south route choice there was the fastest. And here we have a lot of athletes going together. Anna Asa looking for the second control, and then we see Ella Turesson, Nelly Mortensen, Strauta going for the 9th control. So they get to see each other out there. Nina Kärne has already caught up on Lea Widmer, but looking at the length of this trail, I think Anna Asa has done a good start, making on some seconds up to Nina Kärne. Dela Giesendanner, the Swiss athlete, she was really good at the World University Ski Orienteering Championship that was in Lenzerheide on home ground for her in Switzerland. She was actually at the medal positions someday. Had quite much... it was a bad, I would say, World Championship for her, and has not had the best races here either. Going away, living in Sweden and training to become better at more of this kind of ski orienteering. So going in straight there. As I said, Anna Asa looked like she has catched some time on Nina Kärne. Now the better ranked ladies have started. It will be interesting to see how they can compare against Ella Turesson. There we had 116, Ingeborg Roll Mosland to the TV control, and she is more than 2 minutes behind Ella Turesson. Ella's start is getting better and better, I think. And I can see on the GPS that Vilma Peso actually has caught up 4 minutes on Lotteline Ekström. So Vilma Peso looks like she's really strong. Here we see comparison between Anna Asa and Ella Turesson, and they are doing different route choosing there. And it looks like Anna Asa gained some seconds. Yeah, as I said, I think not going up on those steep hills is good. And Anna Asa here before, and then I think she takes the slower route choice there. I think she should go out to the left, not taking the elevation on the narrow track, trying to take it on the wide track instead, losing probably some seconds there. And we see quite a big group with Nelly Mortensen. I think Ella Turesson is there. I think Emilia Tamusevicic is there. I think Laura Elisabeth Kristel-Lahn is there. And we also have Anat Strauta. So that was a big group. Here we have Heta Virtanen, 125. She is also under 23. She was 8 in that class on the sprint distance. And going away there. And I think, as I said, she should look quite a bit more on the map here in the beginning when she has the possibility to read. Because as you seen in the forest, it's also quite bumpy and hard tracks, and you have to be there. You have to be at the moment when you're going into this dense track system. And also these narrow tracks, as I said, quite bumpy, icy, but definitely a bit faster than yesterday. So we will wait and see Ella Turesson coming quite soon to the to the arena passage. And then she takes another route choice than Nelly Mortensen here. I think she might lose some seconds there. But we will see. Now she has flat, and the other athletes, Nelly Mortensen, she was just barely behind her earlier. So she was in there. Here we get to see them. Ella Turesson is ahead of Nelly Mortensen, taking the lead with almost 6 minutes. That's a problem. No, they are not following the mark. They have to follow the wee boards going back there. Hopefully they are losing seconds there. But you have to see, there you have to follow the wee boards, doing a slight mistake. If they would not have turned around, they would definitely have been disqualified. So that was good that they turned around. Here you see the map board, and taking the map. Not perfect from the Swedes there, and even though we know they have catched a lot of Laura Elisabeth Kristelan, losing some important seconds there. So Ella Turesson has done this 4.7 kilometers on 29:30. And then we know Vilma Pesu started only 4 minutes behind her, and was 26 seconds behind her at the first radio control. You see Ella is reading the map carefully. She knows that the important part here is to go to the right control, go to the right narrow track, reading which route choice should I take. Looks like they take out to the left, probably going then. It's quite nice going from the left into the control, but I think it's faster in the beginning going to the right. So hard to say there. Here we see the athletes. Anna Asa, Nina Kärne are those athletes looking like they are the fastest at the moment. We saw Anna Asa actually was ahead of Ella Turesson earlier. So it will be interesting to see when they come to the fourth control, because they make the right route choice. Amanda Ylifutka, who had lost some seconds in the beginning, or actually 2 minutes to Ella Turesson, is making the right route choice here, and can probably catch up a bit on the Swede in the lead, both at Radio 1 and at the arena passage. Actually, Ella and Nelly are going straight to the 12th control, and going into the marsh, going out on the marsh, and using the narrow tracks instead of the wide tracks. Here we see Annette Strauta. Yes, at the 6th position at the arena passage. And I would also say that when Ella Turesson, you see her going straight into this, I was thinking that maybe they would go to the left or to the right, knowing that from the meadow out on the left, on the house, where you see the black house, Magdalena Olsson made a shortcut yesterday to this narrow track. So it could be quite fast, but I think this is the fastest. It's quite straight. It's no elevation to take, and if you read the map and just do it as you should, I think this is as close. So it's probably the fastest, and it looks like Ella Turesson doesn't have any issues. Yesterday she had issues just at this point where she was then, but now looks like she is in full control. And Vilma Pesu should be at the arena passage quite soon if she will be able to match Ella Turesson. So it would be interesting to see those two in the lead there, and still no better times at the Radio 1. We're waiting, as I said, for Nina Kärne. She has been out in 14 minutes. She would have to been out at the control, and she's coming into it quite soon, I think. So it will be interesting to see when she arrives there, and also Anna Asa. Ella Turesson taking the control perfect, and this 13th control a bit easier leg, and then see quite difficult. Should you go left or right to the 14th control? I think here we get to see Vilma Pesu coming at the arena passage. Then she is at second position. She's 1:40 behind Ella Turesson. She has lost more than 1 minute, and I think it's mainly the pace actually that she has lost time on Ella, since we know she took the best route choice earlier on the 8th leg. So Vilma Pesu doing a really good race, passing Lotte Line Ekström and leaving her behind. And we know that these two were clearly the first at the Radio 1. So Vilma Pesu doing a good race and looking for the under 23 World Championship medals. We will see how the later starters will do there. And then we have Nina Kärne into the Radio 1. She is at the 5th control, and she is there at 3rd position, only 35 seconds behind Ella Turesson. So 10 seconds behind Vilma Pesu there. So Nina Kärne, if she continues to do a good race, that is a good start for her. Barely 30 seconds behind Ella Turesson. And we are also waiting for Anna Asa, who started 2 minutes behind her. You see the blue from Nina Kärne. It looks like Nina Kärne is doing a mistake there. Yeah, she is definitely doing a mistake there, losing important seconds, and that is a big mistake, and that was what I said. It's not so much route choosing here, but you have to have control of the map. And now you see she goes up that hill. I think she will be losing some more seconds there. So not a good part right at the moment for Nina Kärne. I think that we are talking about maybe almost a minute losing time there. And here we are at the marsh at TV control 1, waiting for Anasa, I think, should come into the control quite soon. Yep, she has been there. You see, 26 seconds, tied second position with Vilma Pesu, 26 seconds behind Ella Turesson. So the Swedish and the Finnish athletes have started good. Doris Kudre, 129, starting here, just 4 minutes ahead of Magdalena Olsson. Doris had a quite okay sprint, around 15th position there. And I think this, if she has the power in her legs, this map, this course, and this snow conditions will suit her. She's good working with her skio technique and going on these narrow tracks, but mainly keeping the foresight on the map. And I would say that her sister is even better at that. So Daisy Kudre Schneider, I think she was happy when she woke up and saw it has been a bit colder and there will be a bit faster and icier tracks out in the forest. You see there, looking at the map carefully and taking the left there. It looked like she had full control going into the forest. And here we get to compare Anna Asa, Ella Turesson. We know Ella was behind there, but you see there Anna losing seconds, and they are together here. But making the small micro route choice just the same as Lotteline Ekström, losing some seconds there, and going the same route choice. And it looks like Ella is just a bit faster than Anna, and they are doing different there. It looks like Anna maybe fell or something, and taking the same into the control. The same route choice here to the 5th control. 26 seconds behind Ella, she was there, and I think that was some seconds faster from Anna also there. Here we have Evine Westli Andersen, who was 18th at the sprint, and she is also a good technician. Some years ago, she had her top, I would say, in her career. She has had a bit slower results this last year, but she likes this ski orienteering. But it's one thing to like it, and you also have to execute it perfect when you're out there. So we will see how it goes for Evine when she starts her race here. Looking, you see, as I said, looking carefully at the map. I think that's a quite clever move. Going a bit slower out here from the arena, but seeing to the second control here, I can either gain or lose seconds. We have now Agnieszka Lavakova at the radio 2. She is 5th there, 6 minutes behind Ella Turesson. And Evine going in with composure and control here. Taking the same left as Doris Kudre did. Looking like they are doing that the same. Here we see Nina Kärne, Anna Asa. They are doing the same route choice here, and we know that Nelly Mortensen lost some time there. And Anna Asa is looking like she is going more around. She's turning around. So both some difficulties for Nina Kärne and Anna Asa here, away from the 7th control, or after the first TV control. So we see there they will probably lose time to Ella Turesson here, and I think perhaps Anna Asa saw Nina Kärne going that route choice, looking at it again, and okay, then I take this. It's quite usual when you're looking at the long leg and you think, okay, is it right or left, which is the fastest, and then you get to see some athletes ahead of you and they took the left. Okay, then I go for the left also. So we will see. Magdalena Olsson, one of the biggest favorites today. She won 2 gold medals and 2 silver medals at the World Championship. She has been second here, looking for her first win in Estonia. And yesterday she was quite close. I would say really close. She fell just in the end when she was about to sprint against Anna Ulvensson. And also look at Magdalena, looking carefully at the map here. She has a lot of routine. She has been in the World Cup game for a long time. And going a bit slower here, realizing it will be tough to do some route choosing when I come to the first control. So I think that's a sign of control and routine when she goes into the forest. And with that in mind, I think Magdalena will have a good start. Taking into the left there, just as the other athletes. There we see some of the swift athletes passing the road and going in. I think that can be Florian Miller. I'm not certain. You see, earlier they did some shortcuts, but now on these meadows it's hard to know where it's snow, so it's not easy to make those shortcuts. Probably it's one of the men. They have also started this race, but we're focusing on the women's race in the beginning. We have actually had Lise-Marie Casu at the last radio control, 54-55, and then she has passed Elisa Madsena again, so she has done a good job from the arena passage and now have less than 500 meters to the finish. So coming quite soon, Lise-Marie Casu, the first starter in the women's class to this control. Here we get to compare Anna Asa, Ella Turesson. Anna turning around there, making another route choice. And then we see she goes to the left route choice and having some difficulties, taking the wrong there. Going out. Looks like she's not certain. I think this is... you see how far ahead Ella Turesson is. I think that this is the race for Anna Asa, taking all the climb on that narrow track. Here we have Maria Hoskari, one of the favorites in the Under-23 World Championship middle distance, but also in the World Cup. She has been, I will have to look. She has been 6th and 6th here, and she was 5 at the World Championship middle distance, so she's a strong athlete. She was 2nd at the sprint distance after Ella Turesson in the Under-23 World Championship, and I think she's looking for the gold. 1 year older than Ella. They were competing hard already at the Junior World Championship, and now they are competing in the senior style against each other. Looks like she is also in full control here. And you see Anna Asa is really slow there, and Nina Kärne, she was almost catched up from Nina Kärne, and I think Nina Kärne is doing wrong. Nina Kärne was going with Lea Widmer, but she is taking a quite steep downhill and not being able to use the speed there. Amanda Ylifutka, not the best race for Amanda Ylifutka. 7th position here at the arena passage, 7:19 behind Ella Turesson, and I don't think this is what she was looking for starting, but she, as I said earlier, she is a stronger cross-country skier than her ability to making orienteering with the map in these quite hard track systems. And here we see Lise-Marie Casu coming for the finish in the lead at the last radio control. She has been out in over 1 hour and coming here. And we also see another Estonian starting the race, Daisy Kudre-Schneider. And I think she is one of the top favorites. She was third yesterday, taking her first podium position this season. And we know middle distance individual start. There's nothing that Daisy don't like better than that. And she is great in her map reading skills. So I think when she gets the map, she also thinks this is a course that suits me very well. This will be fun today. So Daisy, who from the beginning was a great technician, a bit slower. Now these last years, she has worked on her speed, but still having great map reading skills. And here we see Doris Kudre doing the other route choice compared to Ella Turesson. And it looks like it's quite close between them to this second control. Doris just some few seconds ahead of her. So Lise Marie Caso went to the finish with 1 hour, 4 minutes and 8 seconds. And then we are waiting for Ella Turesson, hopefully coming quite soon. She is on her way to the 17th control out of 20. She is in the lead by Radio 4 with, I would see, she has left Nelly Mortensen 1 more minute behind her, so she has 45.22 there. And as I said, this 45 minutes of victory time, I think it will be hard even for the fastest athlete to go down on that time. And Paulberry here at the new third best time, but 6 minutes behind Ella Turesson. So Ella Turesson and Vilma Pesu are in their own league here at the moment. And still we're waiting for athletes that should put Ella down a pinhole on the first radio control. We see that Asne Havengen has been there. She's 45 seconds behind Ella Turesson. We have seen Heta Virtanen there. She's 1 minute behind Ella Turesson. Here we have Sari Värnen, the routine Finnish athletes. I would say the mother in the Finnish team, taking care of all the youngsters. And Sari did a good race yesterday, ending on the 10th position. She was 11th at the World Championship middle distance. So she's stable, but will probably not be fighting for the podium positions. And at Radio 3, we have had the Norwegian Ingeborg Roll Mosland at the new third best time, but she is still almost 4 minutes behind Ella Turesson. And here we have Doris Kudre going on the leg to the fourth leg, I think. And yes, Doris Kudre coming up there. We see some kind of old snow machine there, tractor. Yeah, and now we get to see some comparison. Looks like Doris lost some seconds to the third control, and definitely losing seconds here in the beginning to the fourth control. So I don't think she will be able to keep the same pace as Ella Turesson when they come to the fifth control, the first TV control, after 2.3 kilometers. You see here, definitely losing seconds on Ella Turesson. Even though they were quite fast there, she is more behind than, actually not as far behind as I was expected, but still losing seconds on Ella there, Doris. Here we have Elin Schagerström, 135. And I think that Elin Schagerström, she wants a revenge. She was fourth yesterday, and she was fourth at the World Championship middle distance. She is extremely fast, but having sometimes some issues with the orienteering part. And here we see Daisy Kuder-Schneider going to the second control. And you see, comparing to we saw at Paulberry quite a long time ago, she was stopping there. Daisy, she has the foresight, and she just keeps on pushing. And she knows exactly, I should go left, then I should go right. Impressive to get to see Daisy there. And actually, I think she is the fastest in the world just on those parts. And we'll see on the entire race. Elin Schagerström starting here. And looking at the map carefully. Going right, and then she should go left in there. So, yes, but looking like, you see, small stop there. Losing, maybe not seconds, but some speed and the feeling that I'm not ahead, I am behind. Here we see Florina Miller at the new fourth position after Ella Turesson, and Ella Turesson has been at Radio 5, 7.7 kilometers. She has 50 minutes there, and she is that's the 19th control, so she only has one control left. So she's quite soon coming into the finish, probably in around 2-3 minutes. Florina Miller taking her map here and putting it in the map holder and looking carefully. And also you see here, I think Florina, she should put her map holder a bit more higher up, because it looks like it's too far from the face, and then you are not able to keep the same speed. Many years ago we saw Hans-Jørgen Kvåle a Norwegian who won a lot of races. He almost had the map holder in his face, and you were like, how is he able to see anything around? But he was fast. He saw the map very clearly. You see here at the arena at the moment, this is a standing Ella Turesson, 1:39 ahead of Vilma Pesu, and then it's more than 4 minutes down to Ingeborg Roll Mosland. I think this is Magdalena Olsson going the right route choice to the fourth control. And we are waiting for Ella Turesson at the finish. She should be here quite soon. She started out as number 10 and has passed a lot of athletes. I think she's number 3 into the finish. And she took the gold on Friday's sprint distance in the Under-23 World Championship. And I think this is looking for the gold. Here we get to see Daisy Kuder-Schneider, Maria Hoskari, Magdalena Olsson taking another route choice going up there. And Maria Hoskari doing small. And you see Daisy Kuder-Schneider is ahead. As I said, looking really strong there. Going a slight different route choice there. Maria Hoskari also going around. And you see then Ella Turesson is around 40 seconds behind Daisy Kuder-Schneider. Maria Hoskari, Magdalena Olsson 15 seconds behind maybe. Here we have Ella Turesson. She has been out in 53 minutes going around the start and then into the finish line. And this is a great race from Ella. You just saw she was some seconds behind the best athletes, but she is in a big lead on every radio control at the moment and will take a lead with more than 10 minutes ahead of Lise Marie Kasu. I think this is definitely a medal in the Under-23 World Championship for Ella Turesson. The Swede, she had a weak day yesterday, coming back with the revenge today. We will wait and see how far this goes. 53:40, and I think, as I said, this is a great time. She will probably be passed by some of the older athletes, but 45 minutes, no one will be down on that time. So maybe around 50, 51, 52. Here we have another Swede starting. Hanna Eriksson had a great World Championship with the 7th and the 8th position, but here in Estonia it has been some weaker days. Looking at the map, also reading here, and here we also have the Czech athlete number 106, Mikaela Sarbova, coming in at the finish there, and she is 8:34 behind Ella Turesson. And we know that Nelly Mortensen had catched up on her, so she should also, if she haven't done any mistakes, she should probably quite soon be into the finish. We are waiting for these really fast athletes. This is Daisy Kuder-Schneider doing the right route choice to the fourth control. You see these routine ski orienteering athletes, they choose the right route choice, going around on the wide track and not as much elevation to pick up. Are waiting, I should say, 10, 12, 52. So those, it means that Magdalena Olsson, she has around 1 minute, 1.5 minutes to be ahead of Ella Turesson at the fourth control and at the fifth control. And we saw that she was ahead of her with some seconds earlier. We see Maria Hoskari. Looks like Daisy Kuder-Schneider have catch some time on her, but also her taking the right route choice to this fourth control. Vine Westli Andersen, she has already been passed by Magdalena Olsson. 138, this is Syne Strand. No, Anna Ulvensen, of course. Anna Ulvensen, yesterday's winner, and one of the favorites today also. But I think, of course, Anna Ulvensen is definitely one of the podium favorites. But I think that Maria Hoskari and Magdalena Olsson are a bit more pleased with this course and the formation of the snow. Daisy Kuder-Schneider here, 10 minutes at the moment, going out on the meadow towards the fourth control. And then we have had her, Magdalena Olsson, the Swede, taking the lead with 1 minute ahead of Ella Turesson at the first radio control. So Magdalena Olsson taking a big lead there. And Anna Ulvensen going into the forest. Yesterday's winner, as I said, she was third at the sprint. And in the overall World Cup, she's second position behind Magdalena Olsson, who we have in the lead at 2.3 kilometers. And it looks like she has had really high pace on this leg to the fourth control going out on the wide track. And it will be interesting to see compared with Daisy Kuder-Schneider, which keeps the fastest pace here. See, they are some seconds. You saw Maria Hoskari, he did a mistake there. I did not see that earlier. Daisy Kuder-Schneider and Magdalena Olsson, they are quite a big lead here. Maria Hoskari and then Doris Kudre. We know Doris is behind Ella Thuresson with 40 seconds. It looks like Daisy Kuder-Schneider is ahead of Magdalena Olsson there. Vilma Pesu coming into the finish. He has lost some more seconds on Ella Thuresson. We were 140 behind at the arena passage, and there will be some more seconds, but it is a good race from Vilma Pesu. And going into the finish, you see he is surely ahead of all the other athletes in the finish at the moment. He has passed her teammate Lotte Line Ekström with 4 minutes, and I think this can be definitely a medal also in the under 23 World Championship. Vilma Pesu coming in around 2 minutes behind Ella Thuresson at this middle distance. A bit tired the last meters, but of course you should be tired after this course. We see here also Anna Osa at the map change. She has been at the control. She is 4th position. Yes, 4:16 behind Ella Thuresson, and we saw her big mistake on the leg to the 8th control. So it means she lost a lot of time there. And the other part is going well for Anna, and she is also under 23 athlete, but it looks like she's a bit too far behind. Eliane Deininger, 139, the Swiss athlete who did a good race yesterday, picking up from 17th to 7th position. She likes the pursuit, Eliane, and going in here to the forest and taking the same route choice as everyone else. Here we see Daisy Kuder. No, it's Maria Hoskari, still ahead of Daisy Kuder-Schneider, but we know Daisy is not far behind. And Maria Hoskari, there we see the white and blue, with the blue on the legs, the white on the shirt. And we saw that Maria was 1:18 behind, and I think she is less than 40 seconds behind her in the terrain. Yes, new leader at TV control 2.3, 17 seconds ahead of Magdalena Olsson, and it means that Magdalena did not take any seconds on this long leg, and I think that looks really good for Daisy, because that is one of these wide track long legs that I would say Magdalena often is stronger than Daisy. Here we have Anna Ulvensson into the forest, coming towards the 2nd control and doing some kind of straight route choice here. Hard to say exactly where she is in the forest, but also here taking some small map stops, leading. Of course, it's better than to lose yourself in this dense system. It looks like she is not in total control over her map reading, though. It will be interesting to see. Yeah, she went around there. That was good. She did not keep climbing on the narrow track. I think that was a good choice from Anna Ulvensson. Coming down on the marsh now. And here we have the last starter, Anne-Sophie Krogh, number 140. She was 11th yesterday and 6th at the sprint distance in the junior 23 class. So definitely a fighter for the medals there. And going with good speed into the forest. Here we see Anna Ulvensson, still with control. And she knows where to go. Meeting Heta Virtanen, it looked like there are some other Norwegians. And coming quite soon towards the wide track. You see there, I think just looking at this and comparing to Daisy Kuder-Schneider, Anna is so strong. She's so fast when she goes fast, but she needs to have these small map stops, picking her hands up on the map holder and not working all the way. And you see, she's losing some seconds to Daisy Kuder-Schneider. And she also goes up there. We know Maria Hoskari lost quite a few seconds to Daisy Kuder-Schneider on that choice. It will be interesting to see if she continues down on the marsh, because we know Maria Hoskari went on the wide track a bit north there. But it looks like it's 20-30 seconds down to Anna Ulvensson for Daisy Kuder-Schneider. So Anna has lost some seconds here. Yeah, she continues here, directly out on the marsh. And should go to the right now into the control. But as I said, it was visible when we're going behind. Here, Lotteline Ekström coming in at the 5th position. Have not had the best day today, Lotteline. 10-19. I know she has had some sickness before this World Cup, and probably the race yesterday had worn her out. So at the radio 1, we have Daisy Kudra-Schneider ahead with 17 seconds of Magdalena Olsson. Then she has 120 down to Ella Turesson, 140 almost to Maria Hoskari, and then Vilma Pesu. So that is the top in the first control. And here we have Elin Schagerström coming in to the, and I think that Elin Schagerström, I have to look at her starting time. Looking at the GPS, she had some issues because she is behind. She started at 11:08, and to be compared to Daisy Kudra-Schneider, she should already be at the control. And looking at the map here, at the GPS map, Magdalena Olsson taking another route choice than Daisy Kudra-Schneider into the 8th control, and we know she will lose time there. Interesting to see if she will be behind or if she had been going well the other parts. There were 17 seconds behind and Daisy Kudra. Magdalena Olsson seeing Elin Schagerström, and here we get to see them in this part. Daisy Kudra-Schneider looking like she is gaining some seconds to Magdalena Olsson here. Turning around, you see Magdalena making a small mistake there. Then Magdalena goes straight into this. She is incredibly strong in her arms. But we know Ella Turesson lost seconds there. So I think she will lose time on Daisy there. Delia Gissendander now best 4th position at the arena after 5 kilometers, 35:18. And as I said, Elin Schagerström is quite clearly behind, still coming to the 5th control. And I haven't seen Synestrand. Synestrand is doing the wrong route choice, but she has caught up time on Elin Schagerström. Yes, here we get to see them again. Maria Hoskari and Daisy Kudra-Schneider doing the same route choice as it looks like. And Magdalena Olsson taking this more straight route choice with a bit more elevation on the narrow track. And when she comes here, we already know she will go up to the left again and losing more seconds, I think. I'm not certain. Know that here we have, I think it's Hanna Eriksson. Yes, after 11 minutes, and I think looking at this, she is behind Daisy Kudra-Schneider 1 minute 1:20 at this moment, because Daisy Kudra-Schneider had around 9:40, 9:50 there. You see here 125, 126. Asne Havengen is the best out of those, and now a new best 2nd position there. Asne has done a good part here because she was 10th at the Radio 1 and now is 2nd position there. So she has passed Vilma Pesu and Asne. She is in the under 23 class. Here we get to see the 3 best athletes. Starting Anna Ulfsson taking a slightly different route choice, losing some seconds to Daisy Kudra-Schneider. Magdalena taking totally different route choice, pausing there. So it looks like Daisy Kudra and Magdalena are some seconds, around 40 seconds ahead of Anna Ulfsson. But we know Anna Ulfsson's strength when she comes out on the wide track. Agnieszka Lavakova coming into the finish will probably not be able to beat Mikaela Serbova, her teammate, for the 3rd position at the moment. And she is fighting these last meters. Nelly Mortensen, she will probably take over the 4th position from her. Yeah, coming in here. And then we know after Anna Ulfsson, only Elian Deininger started, so quite soon we can close the 1st radio control. And as I said, Elin Schagerström not having the start that she would have liked. Synnerstrand making the slower route choice to the fourth control. I think she almost would have had catched up on Elin Sjögström 2 minutes earlier. Lavakova actually 1 second behind Nelly Mortensson there. So a bit too far in the end, coming in at the 5th position there. And both those athletes are competing in the under 23 class, but there will be no medals for any of those. But Ella Turesson's race still looking really, 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 really good. Here we get to see the comparisons between the fastest at the moment. Magdalena Olsson going in there. Maria Hoskari turning around, taking the same route choice as Daisy Kudre-Schneider. Magdalena losing seconds here and then going straight there, and she will probably go on the narrow track down, and it's not so fast. So she's more than 17 seconds. This opens up for Anna Ulvensson. We know we're around 20 seconds behind Magdalena Olsson, and Maria Hoskari definitely gaining some seconds on Magdalena there, but still behind her in the forest. At the finish, Ella Turesson in the lead, 2:05 ahead of Vilma Pesu. Mikaela Espor Sarbova at 3rd position. We know that we had quite recently Asne Havengen. She passed the arena 1 minute behind Ella Turesson, and she was actually 45 seconds behind her already at the 5th control, so she has done a really good middle part. You see Magdalena Olsson making a shortcut there, not losing so much time, so being able to come with speed. And this is the replay, so they don't meet each other out in the forest. Here we have 113 coming to the finish. Amanda Ylifutka have continued losing time towards Ella Turesson, and she will be behind both Nelly Mortensson and also Agnieszka Lavakova, but I think she will be ahead of Lotteline Ekström, her teammate. We are still waiting for... You see Elin Sjögström, she has been at the radio control, and she's 4 minutes behind Daisy Kudre-Schneider there. Amanda Ylifutka coming into the finish, around 9.5 minutes behind Ella Turesson. So as I said, Ella's race is growing and growing. And Synnerstrand has also been at the Radio 1. She's there at 14th position, 15:58. So she's 3 minutes behind Daisy Kudre-Schneider. And I would say that means that Anna Ulvensson, she is also behind. And probably a bit more. Because after Synnerstrand, Hanna Eriksson started, and then Anna Ulvensson. Here we get to see Anna Ulvensson going out on the long leg. Hanna Eriksson there at the moment, 15:11, and as I said, the time for Anna Ulvensson has already passed out on the Radio 1. Here we see Daisy Kudre-Schneider from the above, coming with full speed. She is on her way to the 9th control, going the right route choice there. She has picked up Maria Hoskari. Here we have 116, Ingeborg Roll-Mosland, who sprinted down Synnerstrand yesterday, and she will be definitely the new 3rd best time here in the finish. And we have had Anna Ulvensson at the Radio 1. I would say a quite bit more interesting. She's there at the 3rd positions, 13:44, but she is 45 seconds behind Daisy Kudre-Schneider. So even Anna did not gain any seconds on that long leg towards Daisy Kudre-Schneider. So Daisy's race looking really good, and she's quite soon coming in to the map change, and we'll hear that this is a great start from her. But we are still waiting for her to the Radio 2. And Magdalena Olsson has been at the Radio 2. We know Magdalena Olsson started 4 minutes ahead of Daisy Kudre-Schneider, and Magdalena Olsson is there, a new leader. She has gained 20 seconds more on Ella Turesson. Ida Strand here at the 6th position. She is 3 minutes behind Ella Turesson at the map change. But we are waiting more interesting time. Doris Kudre coming here also, making first a small stop at the men's maps, and then taking her map. And she started 2 minutes behind her, so this is a good race from Doris Kudre. 4th position, 1:46 behind, but just 7 seconds up to Vilma Peso at the 3rd position. So, as I said, Magdalena Olsson has been at the radio 2 and are just coming in quite soon to the arena passage. And she will also get to hear she has a great race on the way. She is leading at radio 2 with more than 1 minute ahead of Ella Turesson. And you see there, Magdalena Olsson has taken the lead. She is here at 29 and 47. Yeah, you see here, Magdalena Olsson coming into the map change. Started 4 minutes behind Doris Kudre and almost see her taking the lead. 1:22 ahead of Ella Turesson. And getting the map into the map holder. And now going out to a very tight, tricky network again. Reading the map, have some issues, I think, with getting the map into the map holder, losing some crucial seconds there. Looking at the map, and here we have into the finish. I think it was F. Paulberg coming into the finish, and she is there at 5th position, 8:58, behind Ella Turesson. So then we know Magdalena Olsson has been here. She was 1:22 ahead of Ella Turesson, and Daisy Kudre Schneider should be on the way to Radio 2. Elian Deininger, the second last starter in at the Radio 1. She is there at the 4th position, around 1 minute behind Daisy Kudre Schneider. Anna Ulvensen also turning around and doing the left route choice. And this looks very good for Daisy Kudre Schneider, I have to say, because we know she's taking the fastest route choice also on this. She was ahead of them earlier, and she will be more ahead when we come to the 8th control. Daisy Kudre Schneider leading here at TV1. 17 seconds ahead of Magdalena Olsson, 47 seconds ahead of Anna Ulvensen, 4th position there. Elian Deininger 55 seconds behind, and only Anne-Sophie Krog started behind Elian Deininger, and she will be behind. She has lost clearly on Elian Deininger, but we will have to see here what happens. We see here Flerina Miller. She coming into the finish. 6:20. She will be a new 4th best time. And turning around here, 180 degrees. And the last meters in sprinting into the finish. Looking at the map here, we should see. Yeah, there we have her, Daisy Kudre Schneider. And she is taking a lead here at Arena Passage. She is more than 1 minute ahead of Magdalena Olsson, 1:23. This race looks really good for Daisy. She had 17 seconds, now she has 1:23. Removing her map from her map holder. Getting those leaders shouting the times for her. And this is looking like... I'm not gonna say a victory road for Daisy Kudre Schneider. They have a long way to go to the finish, but I know the feeling going into this arena passage, getting the knowledge. You're leading with almost 1.5 minutes. It goes great out there. Just keep on going the way you're doing it. She knows also she has passed Maria Hoskari. You see here she's 12 seconds behind her in the track, because she's 2:12 behind her at the 3rd position there. So Maria Hoskari, is fighting against Ella Turesson. She is there, I would say, 30 seconds ahead of Ella Turesson, going for the under 23 gold medal, as it looks like. Evine Westli Andersen having had some difficulties here, 7 minutes behind at 13th position. And looking at the map, I see that Elian Deininger looks like she takes the same route choice as Anna Ulvensen, and probably doing some mistake there also. So I think they will lose time on Daisy Kudre Schneider. Anna Ulvensen really strong here. We know that it was quite fast going around to the left. But it looked earlier as the athletes were losing time there. And Sari Väänänen, yeah, she's 9th at Radio 1. Still waiting on her for Radio 2. She started 2 minutes behind Daisy Kudre Schneider, and she won't be there for some minutes. Elin Schagerström coming into the 8th control. Here we get to see Daisy. She also goes straight to this... it's has this control. That is number 12. Slightly different route choice than when we saw Ella Turesson, but straight using those narrow tracks on the marsh. And I think it is Magdalena Olsson's trail we get to see there, the yellow, who has passed the 12th and 13th control. Here we have Antonia Ehrhardt coming into the finish. And it looks like she is coming on a time. I have to check when she started. 10:34, so she has been out in 1 hour. I think, yeah, there we see Antonia Ehrhardt almost. She would be more than 8 minutes behind Ella Turesson today, probably picking the 5th position at the moment. Yeah, they are cheering for her these last meters. So as I said, Daisy Kuder-Schneider have had it's not a start anymore, it's 2/3 of the race, and she is going with really high speed and definitely the best technical usage yet. We have Anna Ulvensen that we are waiting for, that probably can catch her up. Yep, Antonia Ehrhardt in at the 4th position there, 6:54 behind Ella Turesson. Going with the Czech map holder, Miri. In Sweden we often go with the Nordenmark, and I think it's mostly used by the athletes at the international arena. Here we see at the finish, Ella Turesson, Vilma Pesu, Ingeborg Roll-Mosland, Florina Müller, Antonia Ehrhardt. Those are the top 5. Amanda Ilifutka, 11th, Lottelina Ekström, 12th. Not the races they would have looked for. And Anna Ulvensen. Here we have another Norwegian. Is it 122? Then it's Birgit Dorothea Kleppa-Madslien. And she has actually coming there 1:13. She has done a really good ending. Birgit, she was long left. She has catch time on Ella Turesson on this last part, and it's very interesting to see that she will probably beat Vilma Pesu in this fight for the under 23 World Championship medals on this middle distance, because I think the only one who can beat them, Anne-Sophie Krogh, of course, Asna Havengen, there are some, but this is looking like a great race. I think she will be just some seconds ahead of Vilma Pesu, around 2 minutes behind Ella Turesson today. Birgit Dorothea Kleppa-Madslien, maybe a medal for you today. And as I said, she has ended really strong on this last part after the arena passage, 2 minutes behind Ella Turesson. And then we know she was 2.5 minutes behind her when she passed this arena. Here we have Sari Väänänen coming in at the 5th position, just 15 seconds behind, 25 seconds behind Ella Turesson. 3:10 after Daisy Kuder-Schneider.
From Sweden finishes with 4th.
So that's a good start from Sari Väänänen. Fighting for, I would say, as usual, top 10, around 8, 9, 10th position. Probably going for that position. And we see that Sinestrand still, Anna Ulvensen still has quite a long way to go to the arena passage. And at the radio 4, Magdalena Olsson should quite, she has a bit left. Here we have Lea Widmer coming into the finish. She has been passed by some of the athletes coming 9 minutes. I think more interesting to see behind her some of the Finnish athletes coming in there at 13th position. Lea Widmer 9:17 behind Ella Turesson. And she has given it her all out there, and I think into the finish there, not certain. Here we get to see the comparison between Anna Ulvensen, Magdalena Olsson, Daisy Kuder-Schneider and Maria Hoskari, and now we know that Anna Ulvensen has been at the 8th control, so it will be very interesting to see. She was 45 seconds behind Daisy Kuder-Schneider earlier, and it looks like it's not less Having some issues there, Anna Ulvensen. Stopping, probably falling. Yeah, she is also behind Maria Hoskari at the moment. Then we know she's 2 minutes behind Daisy Kudry-Schneider, taking different route choices. I think that Magdalena Olsson gained some seconds on Daisy Kudry-Schneider there, but still 1.5 minutes behind her here at the arena passage. So we see here, arena passage, we have Daisy Kudry-Schneider, Magdalena Olsson, Maria Hoskari, Ella Turesson, and Sari Verranen. All those in 2:45, 3 minutes. But Daisy Kudry-Schneider with the lead, 1:20 ahead of Magdalena Olsson. And as we have seen, Anna Ulvensen will not be ahead of Magdalena Olsson. Elian Deininger have done the same route choice as Anna Ulvensen and also lost time. So she is not probably ahead of Anna Ulvensen. So I think that it will be hard for anyone to beat Daisy Kudry-Schneider. Daisy going around to the left on this control. Comparing to, I see Magdalena Olsson has done some more straight, and I think that this route choice from Daisy will be fast. You know, she was just 25 seconds ahead of Maria Hoskari as we saw it on the GPS earlier, and it looks like she is ahead of her now, working, using the wide tracks here in the end of the race, and probably reading in all those controls, because when you come to the 16s, 17, 18, that's really into these. We got to follow Daisy and Anna there. You saw how dense track network they were. They were icy tracks, so it's hard to come there and read them up. Elin Sjöström coming here to the arena passage, and she is at, I think, around 9th position. Yes, 9th position, 4:57 behind Daisy Kudry-Schneider, and not having the race that she would have expected and longing for. And we know that behind Elin Sjöström, we started Synne Strand, who were before her at the Radio 1. Then we have Anna Ulvensen, and as I said, 4 minutes behind. No, actually 6 minutes behind her, Anna Ulvensen started, but she will not be ahead. And here we have the Norwegian. Can it be Åsne Hovengen, who was at the arena passage at really good position? I think we need to get her time looking. She fights those last meters up, because I think this is also a possibility for the under 23. Yes! Oh, look at her finish! Åsne Hovengen! She has passed Ella Turesson. She were a minute behind Ella Turesson going out on this last loop, and she will definitely be a new leader here at the finish. Åsne Hovengen, what a race! I think I was surprised by her yesterday coming in at the 12th position, but this is even better. This will... I don't think anyone will be able to beat this in the under 23 class. So probably looking for a world championship gold medal for Åsne Hovengen, finishing these last few meters. And then we know Ella Turesson has lost quite a lot of time in the end. But Åsne Hovengen, what a race! What an exceptional race from the Norwegian. 53, I think 53.07, 33 seconds ahead of Ella Turesson. So she has done a great race and a great ending of that race. So a new leader in the finish here for Åsne Hovengen. And she has catched up on Delia Giesen under 4 minutes. So Delia a bit behind her. And I also think Antonia Grigorova, yeah, she was catched up 6 minutes by Åsne. So that was a great race from her. And here we get to see those best athletes at the arena passage. You see Magdalena Olsson going all the way around, using her strength, but doing a mistake again. There are too many mistakes made from Magdalena Olsson this day. Maria Hoskari also doing a mistake, so Ella Turesson is there with her. And we know Ella Turesson has done some kind of mistake or the wrong route choice after this. Going to the left, we get to compare this 14th control between Ella Turesson and Maria Hoskari, and I think the left is the best. Yes, Ella Turesson here at the third position, but we know Åsne Hovengen has passed Ella with 30 seconds, and it looks like they are going about the same route choice there. And Daisy Kudry-Schneider taking another route choice than Magdalena Olsson, and this is Synne Strand I think 136. Yes, Synne Strand in at the 12th position here, just ahead of her 12th, 13th position. I think maybe able around top 10 if she does a really great ending at this race. And then we know we are waiting for Anna Ulvensson. She should not be far behind Synne. She started 4 minutes behind her, so we know she will be behind Daisy Kuder-Schneider. She will be behind Magdalena Olsson. She will probably be behind Maria Hoskari also. Looking at that time, Maria Hoskari, Ella Turesson. So we will see when she comes in to this arena passage. Here we have her, Anna Ulvensson, and she is at the moment at 5th position here. Yes, she is just 2 seconds behind Ella Turesson, 2:47 behind Daisy Kuder-Schneider. Not so far up to the top 3 places, the podium places. We know that Ella Turesson has catched up in the beginning of this last loop, around 30 seconds on Maria Hoskari. But then we also know that Ella Turesson has lost something. Heta Virtanen coming into the finish at 6th position. She is 4:36 behind Asne Havengen. And so we are waiting now for Elian Deininger, the second last starter, and probably the last starter then can compete against about the top 6 positions. I think she still will be behind Anna Ulvensson, but we are waiting to see her time. Here we get to see, and Magdalena Olsson is going to the 19th control, so we will quite soon get to see her time there. And Daisy Kuder-Schneider has been at the 16th control, that is Radio 1, and she takes the lead with 55 seconds ahead of Magdalena Olsson. So she has lost around 30 seconds, but still a good lead for Daisy Kuder-Schneider. And if she just does this control technical stable, she will be the winner of today's World Cup race. See Magdalena Olsson coming in to the 19th control, doing the straight on route choice. Maria Hoskari is around maybe a minute behind Daisy Kuder-Schneider, so that means she's 3 minutes behind. It will be interesting to see Maria Hoskari fighting for the podium place towards Asne Havengen and Anna Ulvensson. Sari Värinän probably be there also. So there were no shortcut there when Daisy came. I was looking at it probably thinking, there will be a shortcut. But we saw there were quite a lot of trees out on the marshes. And here we have Elian Deininger coming into this map change. She is at 7th position. She is 29:53. That means she is 3 minutes behind. Yeah, she was at the radio control. We see here 30. I have to get her time in. Yeah, taking a new map at the 7th position. And second last map there for Elian Deininger. Yeah, actually she has passed one. She is 6th here, 3:04, just 20 seconds behind Anna Ulvensson. And then I think she is also still fighting for the podium place with a good ending here. And she has catched up those started ahead of her. So we only have Anne-Sophie Krog, and she still has a long way to go, so she will not be ahead of Elian Deininger. So these are the top 6 at the moment, and as it looks like this will be the top 6, but we have seen there is quite a big changes in the end. And here we have Magdalena Olsson. She has catched up on Eden Strand, going on the road here. No, not on the road. Hopefully not on the road, because the road is not skiable. It's skiable there. So they went out on the road. And Magdalena Olsson taking the last control. She has catched up on Eden Strand with 6 minutes. And will take the lead here if we get it right. Oh, that's a big lead coming for Magdalena Olsson. And Eden Strand, we have to count here. I don't think this will be the top 3 in the under 23 class for Eden Strand. No, she will be behind Asne, Ella, Birgit, and probably also Vilma Pesu, but has gained some positions, getting Magdalena's back here in the end. So Magdalena taking a big lead. She were ahead of Asne Havengen. We have to count here again. She has gained more than a minute on this last loop on Asne Havengen, and we know Asne gained 1.5 minutes on Ella. So there is time to be made on this last loop. Magdalena Olsson coming here, sprinting. I think it is for the total World Cup. Magdalena Olsson will probably be the second skier today, but he is the winner of the total World Cup 2024, since she was the World Championship queen with 2 gold medals there. Here we have Doris Kudre. Doris Kudre also got Magdalena Olsson's back and was not able to keep it, but got some help up in the result list, I think, because probably not to be able to beat Ella Turesson. Birgit Dorothea Kleppa-Malslim, she will be ahead of, so she will go into the 4th position. But we are waiting for her sister at the 19th control. That's the last radio control, and she should be there any minute, any second. But Doris Kudre coming here into the finish at the 4th position. A good race from Doris, and I think she's looking at a top 10 race in the end. And as I said before, she likes this technical ski orienteering more than just push, uphill and downhill. So a good race from Doris Kudre into the 4th position, 5:03 behind Magdalena Olsson. And we are still waiting for the last starter, Anne-Sophie Krog, at the arena passage, but she will be far, far behind. So the more interesting is Daisy Kuder-Schneider. She has been there! She has been at the Radio 5, and she has lost more time. She were 55 seconds ahead. She is only 35 seconds ahead, so she has lost quite a lot of time on Magdalena Olsson here in the end. But there will probably be... Yes, she takes the right there. I was starting to look if she won't do a mistake going on the narrow track up there. She takes the right. Daisy Kuder-Schneider, she will not lose 35 seconds from that 19th control. I think that is our winner. And Maria Hoskari, we are waiting for her, and we know she's 3 minutes almost behind her, and we know that she will probably be a new 3rd best time at the moment. Yeah, coming to the radio control there. 49.16, she is 3rd position. Here we have Daisy Kuder-Schneider coming into the finish. She has lost some time in the end, but she will take a new lead, and I think we are looking at this day's World Cup winner, Daisy Kuder-Schneider. She had a miserable World Championship in her measures. She was 5th one day, but she wanted the gold, she wanted the medals. Yesterday, she get to go up on the podium for the first time this season. You see, she has some issues with her map holder, not using the screw enough, so it goes down when she skis this fast. And fast it has been going out in the forest today. She is the best athlete this day. Daisy Kuder-Schneider. She likes this ski orienteering. She has used her strength very wisely, and also been choosing the right route choices on the longer legs. And I think that is the thing that settled this race today. We saw Magdalena Olsson doing mistakes on the route choices. We have barely not seen Daisy Kuder-Schneider doing any mistakes at all. This is the winner of today's World Cup at home soil in Estonia, Daisy Kuder-Schneider, into the finish, 42 seconds ahead of Magdalena Olsson, and no one will be able to beat that.
Previous leading time. Ella Turesson.
And here we see Åsne Havengen, the last starter. No, Anne-Sophie Krog. Excuse me, Anne-Sophie Krog. She's probably around position 17, 18, 16, somewhere around there. And fighting for going into the map change. Here we have Daisy Kuder-Schneider. Yeah, now you get to have some more air in your body again, Daisy. Looking at the map, seeing if she has done any mistakes. She knows she has lost time on Magdalena Olsson on the last part. But we also know that Magdalena Olsson was clearly ahead of the 3rd position there. So I think that here we have Maria Hoskari, and she will be taking the 3rd position, and she will be taking the lead. And it's only Anne-Sophie Krogh starting behind her in the under 23 class. She will take the gold medal today at under 23 World Championship. Maria Hoskari, the Finnish lady, she is so stable. She is around fifth position all the time, and she will probably be there today also. We will see Anna Ulvensson's and Elian Deininger's ending of this race. But Maria Hoskari coming into the finish and going for the gold medal at the under 23 World Championship middle distance. So there will be the Finnish national anthem today. Into the finish right there. Maria Hoskari is around 20 seconds ahead of Åsne Havengen. And we know that she has lost quite a lot of time, more than a minute on this last loop. And she doesn't look so satisfied. Someone have to tell her it's a gold medal, Maria. So a bit disappointed directly, but I think she will be happy when they hang the medal around her neck. You see here, Magdalena Olsson making a mistake, and here it clearly looks like Daisy Kuder-Schneider is more than a minute and 1.5 minutes ahead of her, taking the wrong route choice to this control. We know that the left is the fastest. Anna Ulvenson making the same mistake and definitely not gaining time on Anna Ulvenson, on Magdalena Olsson or Maria Hoskari. And here it looks like, I'm not certain where she started to lose time. Probably on this route choice, Daisy Kuder-Schneider, I think the fastest there. She went out on the black road, and now Magdalena Olsson starting to catch up some time on her. Anna Ulvenson taking another route choice to that control. Interesting to see. And she has passed Sina Strand. At the finish, Daisy Kuder-Schneider ahead of Magdalena Olsson and Maria Hoskari. Fourth, Åsne Havengen, and fifth, Ella Turesson. And then we know in the under 23 World Championship, we have the winner, Maria Hoskari. Second position, Åsne Havengen, and the bronze medal goes to Sweden and Ella Turesson.
It was a lot of fighting against myself, because it was very hard to keep the concentration good. I had a little bit problem with my map holder, which after every push went down, so that was very, very annoying. And at one point I even got really almost like pissed during the race, which is not good when it's such a challenging race. And also to the end I made the last control a very bad route choice, I think, again. So it was, I knew I was doing a really good race, and I'm happy that I could really keep on focusing until the end, and I didn't make any wrong turn or any mistakes with map reading, which is really good. But yeah, that end part was just pushing myself to concentrate and not lose the focus, because there was so much going on around me which tried to take the focus away. But all in all, yeah, I really enjoyed the race, which is for me the most important this season, because yeah, why this season has been challenging is that maybe I was too much focused on the result and not really on my performance. And when it didn't go well, I was just always with a bad mood. And now last two races I've been really able to enjoy ski orienteering, and that has also brought good performances.
I guess if you do this map holder fault, you lost almost half of your gap ahead of Magdalena Olsson here. But tell us about the tracks condition.
Sorry?
Condition of the tracks, how soft was it?
Yeah, it was different. In general, like, the conditions are challenging, so there were parts which were less good, but all in all, most parts were quite good. The tracks were visible everywhere, and it was possible to have really good race. But of course, the weather hasn't been very kind to ski orienteering this season. Also at World Champs in Austria, the conditions turned ugly just before the races and here, so I feel, yeah, really sad and sorry we were not able to really enjoy the awesome winter here in Estonia, but still, all in all, it was enough snow for a good race.
Thank you, and I think you have a good chance to advance to the third place in the World.
Today's winner, Daisy Kuder-Schneider, we got to hear some words for her, and interesting that she was purely in the beginning talking about not losing her focus, her concentration ability, not about getting tired in the body. Today it's more about keeping the focus on the map and being able to read all these crossing and not losing focus for just 1 second, then you can lose yourself in these really dense network system. So we see here Anna Ulvenson looks like she is at the 3rd position at the moment. She's clearly ahead of Ella Turesson, but we're not certain where Maria Hoskari is in this part. And I think that when it's no shortcut there, they should have gone out to the left from the start, and it looks like Magdalena Olsson did that, and probably there were a part where she gained some seconds. Daisy also talked about having some difficulties with her map holder. We saw it went down when she tried to push, and as I said, it's a screw that's not really tightened, so that must have also been some difficulties for Daisy, but still a great race. And she also talked about, we know Daisy has been the giant these last years with more gold medals, more world championship medals than I can count up to, and not getting those results in the beginning and focusing too much on the results and not on her ability and on her race. And she said that these 2 last days, Saturday and Sunday, she had more fun focusing on herself, and then the results also are coming with the 3rd place yesterday and 1st place today. We are waiting for Anna Ulvenson. She has been she has been at the 16th control. She is there at 3rd position, 43.57, a minute ahead of Maria Hoskari. And Sari Värnen has been there. He is there at 45.42, so he is coming. Here we have Elin Sjögström coming to the finish, and she has ended also well. But she will not be ahead of Sari Värnen. She will probably not be ahead of Ella Turesson either. Elin Sjögström, she passed the arena as number 11th, and she has picked up some positions in the last part. But as we heard Raul Kudre saying when speaking to Daisy, I think she will lose the overall 3rd position in the World Cup. I'm not certain with all the points, but with a victory for Daisy, she will climb closer and probably pass Elin Sjögström here. Elin, her time against Ella Turesson just went out, and she will definitely be ahead of Doris Kudre at the 7th position. She will go into the finish. And we are having some athletes still in the forest. It's Anna Ulvenson, Synne Strand, Elian Deininger, Hanna Eriksson, and Anne-Sophie Krog. And I think at least 2 of those athletes will probably be ahead of Elin. So looking at the top 10 position in the end, coming in here at number 7 right now, ending her season with that position. Not looking quite pleased with the race, have had some difficulties out there, but as many of them said, there is a lot of athletes that have had big problems. And I also see that both Elian Deininger and Hanna Eriksson are doing they are taking the 16th control. Interesting to see when her time, Elian Deininger is there at 8th position, so she has picked up some positions there. But she will not be able to beat. Actually, she is ahead of Elin Sjögström still there. So looking at that, and Anna Ulvenson taken the 19th control, taking a totally different route choice to the last control there. So interesting to see, because she is. We are still waiting for her time, but she is ahead of Maria Hoskari. But going to the left and almost backing up and then going around, I don't think it's the faster route choice, but I think she has enough seconds towards Maria Hoskari. We should see when her time comes up here. You see there, comparing to Daisy Kuder-Schneider, Magdalena Olsson, she is more than 2 minutes behind Daisy. We know Maria is, she will be ahead of Maria Hoskari. She will take the 3rd position. Anna Ulvenson, also one of this season's giants, ending also on a very good note. She had 3rd positions this Friday, 1st yesterday and 3rd today. And the second overall World Cup for Anna Ulvensson. Yeah, she has went really well. It's some time left from this part, but we know she was a minute ahead of Maria Hoskonen, and it's a lot more time now. And that means that if Eliane Deininger does a good ending, I think she can pick up some positions. She has only 20 seconds up to top 6 in the end. So we will see how Eliane Deininger finishes this race. Looking like she took the right route choice to the 17th control. Synestrand doing the same route choice as Anna Ulvensson up to this last control. Synestrand, who were around 15th position. Interesting to see Anna Ulvensson here coming to the last turnaround. And then this international ski season. There are a lot of domestic races left in Norway to do. We're still just in February, but the international season is over when you crosses this finishing line, and I think the season I think Anna is very pleased with these results. She just had almost just podium places. So great season. Anna Ulvensson in there at the third position, 2:22 behind Daisy Kudre Schneider, and a good last loop for her. Having some difficulties with mainly the route choices. Oh, here we get to see a comparison between Asne Haveng and Eliane Deininger and Ella Turesson. And we said there were 20 seconds for Eliane up to Asne earlier. I think it's a bit less now, but it's we will see how the controls go for Eliane Deininger. Ella Turesson at the 6th position, at the 7th position in the finish. We know Sari Väänänen was 5 seconds ahead of Ella Turesson. It looks like Eliane Deininger is fighting for that 6th position. I think Asne Haveng will probably keep her 5th position. Here we see Synestrand coming into the finish. He was around 15th position, and I think she will probably be behind Delia Gisandander today also. She has lost time on her teammate Eden Strand. We know Eden got Magdalena Olsson's back in the end. And Synne didn't have the power to follow Anna, her teammate, when she came flying by. So we are still waiting to see here those last athletes. And Synne is coming in here, still having some seconds left of her race. You see behind Delia Gisandander we have 13 seconds down to Heta Virtanen, so I think somewhere around there, right behind Delia Gisandander, probably ahead of the Finn on 14th position at the moment. So we see Synne taking the last curve here, the 180 degrees turn, and going in. And it's quite mushy now in the snow. The time for Delia Gisandander goes out, but she will be ahead of Heta Virtanen. So into the 14th position, Synestrand coming in here and finishing this race. But we're waiting for Eliane Deininger, who are ahead of Synestrand and looked to be ahead of... now it looks like she is behind Ella Turesson. She is behind Asne Haveng, and we know that Sari Väänänen is some seconds ahead of Ella Turesson. We will see here for Eliane Deininger how the end of this race goes out for her. How much power? I think the Swiss know this. They will shout a lot for her. But it looks like those seconds are ticking away for Eliane Deininger, I think. Yeah, she is losing seconds. I'm not certain if she's getting tired or if she have done some small mistake into that control, but she is behind Ella, and then she's also behind Sari Väänänen, so maybe not looking for the flower ceremony for Eliane Deininger, the Swiss athlete. She has left Hanna Eriksson hanging behind her, but still losing some seconds to these athletes. Eliane coming in here, and you see Maria Hoskorin's time is soon ticking away, and I think that he is, as I said, she will probably not be able to beat Sari Väänänen or Ella Turesson either. They are around 30 seconds behind Asne Haveng, so she have around 40 seconds, but it's quite a long sprint here. and it doesn't look like the speed is extraordinary, which means I think she will have some difficulties to pass these athletes that we saw on the GPS tracking were a bit before her. So I think that this is probably for the new 8th position. You see Sari Värnen's time is only 10 seconds away. We know Ella Turesson, yeah, she will be behind. Elian Diner will be behind those athletes and coming into the finish at the 8th position because after Ella Turesson, it's a gap for 40 seconds down to Elin Schagerström. So coming in here around 5 minutes behind Daisy Kuder-Schneider at the 8th position. We saw she had a good start, then taking some route choices wrong and losing important seconds, and then lost some seconds on Ella, Sari Värnen and Asna Avängen in the end. So then there's only 2 races left of the women in the forest, and they will not be in the top. So Daisy Kuder-Schneider, today's winner, 42 seconds ahead of Magdalena Olsson, and at the 3rd position, Anna Ulvensson. Here we see Hanna Eriksson coming into the finish. The Swedish athletes are looking around 18th position. Will she beat Ingeborg Roll Mosland? Yeah, I think that going into the 18th position, ending her season there. Probably not as satisfied with these week as in Ramsau. And then we only have Anne-Sophie Krog, and she were around the same time as Hanna Eriksson, Ingeborg Roll Mosland. So she will be around, if she finishes really good, 15, probably around 20. Here we have the finish. Daisy Kuder-Schneider ahead of Magdalena Olsson, Anna Ulvensson. Maria Hoskari, Asna Avängen, Sari Värnen at the 6th position. Ella Turesson, Elian Deininger, Elin Schagerström, and Doris Kudre making her best race of the season at the 10th position. Then we know that in the Under-23 World Championship, the winner was Maria Hoskari. The silver medal was to Asna Avängen, Norway, and the bronze medal for Friday's gold medal, Ella Turesson. So here we get to see a replay out of this women's race. And you see they're taking some different route choices here to the second control. And it was actually here that Daisy Kuder-Schneider got some first seconds that she worked with hard to keep them and getting them some small any longer down to chasers. Magdalena Olsson, Anna Ulvensson, Elian Deininger, Maria Hoskari looking like they were quite close there. And then we see Daisy going well there, Anna Ulvensson, Elian Deininger doing some small. And then this crucial route choice that Daisy Kuder-Schneider did the correct route choice going down to the south. Anna Ulvensson, Elian Deininger going to the north, and Magdalena Olsson doing some zigzag in between. And we see that Anna Ulvensson, Elian Deininger lost a lot of time going there. Magdalena Olsson coming up to be second position total alone. And here we saw Daisy Kuder-Schneider having 1.5 minutes, doing a slower route choice in there also, I think. And Magdalena Olsson, even though she was going wrong there, she chased some second and took the right route choice to the 14th control, comparing to Daisy Kuder-Schneider. Daisy went around there and probably around the same. And then Magdalena Olsson taking micro route choice that was faster and just also continuing out of the 16th control. And you see here Daisy Kuder-Schneider doing some small route choice mistakes, but she's technically win there. She doesn't do, she never loses herself in the map. And coming into the finish, 42 seconds ahead of Magdalena Olsson, Anna Ulvensson at the 3rd position. And then the tight Maria Hoskari, Asna Avängen, and Elian Deininger. And we see Anne-Sophie Krog still out in the terrain. And we are gonna focus on the men's race now. They have also been started for a while. I think clock is 12:13, so starting at the moment. Tuomas Uutinen, the Finnish athlete. The men's course is a bit longer, of course, than the women's course. So we could quite fast say that in the lead at the first radio control, the TV control, Korsin Boos has had a good start. 25 seconds ahead of Olle Ilmarjama, Timo Kudre, and then Otto Timby. So those are the top 4, but we are still waiting for the better athletes to come to that position. Yep, here we get to see the result list again. As I said, Daisy Schneider, today's winner. And you see the blue U23 means that they are in that World Championship class. And we see here Antonia Grigorova into 21st. Nina Karina having quite a much slower race. Amanda Ylifutka, Lotte Lini Ekström. So some Finnish athletes not having the best day. But then Sari Väänänen coming up instead and doing a good race into the flower ceremony for her. Here we get to see Peter Horvat. He will start quite soon. The Czech athlete starting in 2 minutes. And going away, number 46, the Swiss, Jan-André Müller. And I think Jan-André, he has a good pace on his skis, but I think just as in the women's class, he will probably struggle a bit with the orienteering part. Yeah, then we switch our focus away to the men's race of this middle distance. And just as the ladies, they also have this under 23 World Championship for those youngsters. So it's 2 races in 1 race. And we also know that, of course, the best in those classes can be the best. Niklas Ekström has won 2 days here, and he is also the under 23 class. The men, they have some more controls, 23 controls, and they have 14.5 kilometers shortest length, and their estimated winning time is 46 minutes. And we know that Daisy Schneider actually ended in 49 minutes, so not so far from the estimated time, but probably there will be some minute more, 48, 49, somewhere around there. And we have had Timo Kudre into the finish in as a new leader. So Timo Kudre, both his sisters had good races, and he takes the lead here, 2:24 ahead of Regimantas Kavaliauskas. And at third position there, Chris Marcus Krab, his teammate from the Junior World Championship Relay, where they took the gold together with Olle Ilmarjama, one of the favorites in the under 23 class. So Olle Ilmarjama is also at the second position at the first radio control. Misa Tomale was just there, he is at third position, but Korsim Oos, the Swiss, have had a really good start on this race. Here we get to see the men's race, and it's quite similar to the women's. It's quite tricky here in the beginning, and then it's a longer leg to the second, just overpassing this dense network system. And very hard to see which the best route choice is there. And then third and fourth, and then they have the same long, not the same long leg, but they have a long leg just like in the women's class. And it would be interesting to see if anyone goes all the way around to the right and coming in from the back. But it would be probably a bit tough to the last uphill there. Then a longer to the 6th control, 7th, 8th control is the TV control, the Radio 1, after 3.5 kilometers. And then they have to this 10th control, and then they have this is actually the same control. No, they are going a bit more to the left. Would be interesting to see. We knew that going to the right all the way was faster earlier, but now they have moved the control, and the left route choice can be quite more interesting to look at. And then they are coming into their arena passage, and they do that after 6.5 kilometers. So then they have 4 kilometers left to go, and we will see how they pass this. I think quite similar part here after the map change, and then turning around a bit here, just a bit further than the ladies. And as Daisy said, it's important to keep the focus, the concentration on your map reading skills, but also on being present in the tracks when you are out in the forest. So we will see. Looks like, as I said, Corsin Boos has had a great start, and he's going the straight route choice to the 11th control. Then we had Timo Kudre in the lead, ahead of Regimantas Kavaliauskas, Chris Marcus Krab, Simon Eriksson at the 4th position, John Lauenstein at the 5th position. And we get to compare some of the athletes. Isak Lundholm doing good to the first control, being ahead of Kevin Hallop, Mattis Yama, Josep Nagy, and then he takes this steep hill and coming from the lap, and then he meets up with Kevin Hallop. Josef Nagy looking like the left route choice was clearly faster. Yeah, Josef Nagy, that was a good route choice, and going around all those really tricky parts. I'm not certain what happened with Kevin Hallop, if he broke a ski, but Josef Nagy, a great route choice to the second control. Then having the going left, Mattis Yama goes to the right. So we will see when he comes into the control. You see, he will have a bit more uphill to the control. Actually, he does some kind of shortcut, but that was not good for Mattis Yama. That was a big mistake from him. Isak Lundholm, we saw there, but Josef Nagy, what a route choice to the second control. And as it looks, a lot of the skiers are not able to see that. They just try to go straight, but it's a lot up and down, and they're losing seconds there. Stanimir Belmarshel, he was second at the sprint. He was 5th yesterday. He is 4th in the overall total World Cup. He's definitely not under 23, but he has a lot of routine and will fight for the top places today. Holding his map in his map holder. And Josef Nagy has been at the first radio control, taking the lead 1 minute ahead of Corsin Boos. So that's, as we said, a really good start from Josef Nagy, who is, I would say, not one of my favorites for today's race. Stanimir Belmarshel starting here, looking at the map. Have slightly, I would say, easier control to the first control than the ladies. It's easier to kind of just go straight and just continue out to the narrow track. Isak Lundholm almost catched up by Josef Nagy. He's at 3rd position at the Radio 1. Here we get to see them. And Josef Nagy doing a bit otherwise out from the control, losing some seconds, but then we know he's 1:15 ahead of Isak Lundholm, and he is 1 minute ahead of Corsin Boos here. So before Mattis Yama took this shortcut, it looked like he had a great start. Uli Mayama coming from the back, taking the control, passing almost Corsin Boos. Then we see Josef Nagy finding a much straighter route choice there than Isak Lundholm. Isak Lundholm making a mistake. Oh, he was at the 8 control. That's a big mistake from Isak Lundholm. It looked like he had the pace, but lost very much time there. Apo Vippola, I have said it earlier, he didn't have the world championship that he wanted. You could see it in his face when he ended the races there. But today he has, or in Estonia, he has had a good time. He was second yesterday, and he's one of the favorites today. He likes this type of ski orienteering. He has been in some kind of exhaust pipe, putting some black under his eyes to make it that even though you don't see it's sunny, it takes some of the sun shining and makes it easier to look without shades on. Because when it's a bit dense forest, it's often too dark to have some kind of sunshades on. A lot of the athletes doesn't like to have that. Apo Vippola starting there as number 51. And then we know he has around 9 skiers behind him. Oh, look at this. The snow is disappearing, and this is also something that the waxman should have taken in account. It's hard to know if that really is the how to wax for this. So I think it's getting warmer for these athletes. We see some of the Swiss athletes. I think it's number 36. Noel Boos, yes, coming there. I'm not certain who he is chasing. Right, yeah, Øyvind Wiggen, the Norwegian. He has, Noel has almost caught Øyvind Wiggen there. But we know that Korsin Boos had a much better start than Noel. So we are waiting for him. Ole Ilmarjama has been at the arena passage, and he were the new best time there, almost 2 minutes ahead of Timo Kudre, and we know he was 40 seconds ahead of him at the first radio control, so he has continued to have a good race, but still he is behind Josef Nagy, 1.5 minutes after 3.5 kilometers. So we will see. Looks like some falling there from both Øyvind Wiggen and Noel Boos. It's very steep going down there to that you see on the map. You also see Josef Nagy coming from the left. Almost have catched. No, Mr. Tomala is going to the other control. So Josef Nagy has, as I said, oh, he has actually catch up on Misa Tomala 2 minutes. So Josef having a really good race this beginning, and then getting to catch up the routine Misa Tomala, and thinking and getting even more knowledge that this is a great start for my race. And it's interesting to see if they go on the wide track all the way down where Noel Boos is. Here we see Otto Timby, one of the Swedish youngsters, coming into the finish, and he will be here in the second position. He is around a bit more than a minute behind Timo Kudre, coming into the finish, number 21, the same as Peter Forsberg, legendary hockey player in Sweden. 1:35 behind Timo Kudre at second position so far. There will be much faster times out there. We have also had Piri Risanen at the coming quite soon into the arena passage, and then he has lost more time on Ole Ilmarjama, but also gained more time versus Timo Kudre, so he will come here quite soon in a second position. We see Gustav Nordström waiting for his starting position. The oldie but goldie Gustav Nordström, who were one of the best juniors. I have to count now. Around 15 years ago, maybe. Then he focused on cross-country skiing. I think he went around 15 World Cups in cross-country skiing for Sweden. And then he went back to ski orienteering. Belomashev have had a good start to the first control. Peter Horvath, Josef Nagy, and Vegard Gulbrandsen. You should see how they use this. Belomashev, Peter Horvath doing the same, and Vegard Gulbrandsen looking like he does the same route choice as Josef Nagy, and we know that's really good. Piri Risanen here at second position at the arena passage, 41 seconds behind Ole Ilmarjama. There are a lot of time still to fight for in the end. So that will be interesting. And behind Piri Risanen, I have to look. Yeah, just 2 minutes behind. Here we have Rasmus Wikbom at the first TV control. And we will see. He was 8th yesterday. I'm not certain. 43. He has the time of 20 minutes, around 20 minutes. He's behind. I think he is probably, yeah. So he has been there. He has taken. So around a minute behind at second position. So Josef Nagy, his race looks even better because, as I said, Rasmus Wickbom 8 positions yesterday and a very stable ski orienteer. But we saw to the second control that Josef gained very much time there. And Vegard Gulbrandsen doing the same start there out on that track. Belmashev going straight. So even though Stanimir had the fastest pace to the first control, he will most likely be behind after that. We'll see they have a bit further to the TV control, so we're not certain. Here we see Simon Kugler. We see coming to the finish, and he will finish as number 14th. Then he is around 18 and a half minutes behind Timo Kudre. They are cheering for him. And it looks like in the starting position we have Björn Akpole. He starts 2 minutes behind Gustav Nordström. Yes, so that's he is on the way. Corsin Boos are coming into this arena passage very, very soon, and still going good. Has lost some time. Ole Ilmarjama has passed him, but he is just 14 seconds behind Ole Ilmarjama. So it will be interesting to see their ending compared to each other. We know that Corsin Boos has lost 45 seconds from the first radio to this second radio, the arena passage. Björn Akpole has not been really pleased with his performances this season. He has been around 10 to 15th position. He was 20th this first race. He was 12th at the World Championship middle distance. We'll see what he can do today. And I think that the guy starting behind him wants to pick him up. You see Apo Vippala doing a different route choice, not as fast, losing some seconds there, and then doing the right route choice here. Now we get to see, in comparison with Pepa Nagy, doing the round route choice, backing it up. Looks like these guys don't lose as much time as Rasmus Wickbom. So Josef Nagy, Vegard Gulbrandsen just ahead of Stanimir Belmashev, and then I think it's more of that you have to find the right crossings when you go there. Josef Nagy here in the lead, 1 minute behind before Corsin Boos, and then Isak Lundholm at the third position. Ole Ilmarjama then, and then here we see some more athletes. We know Ole Ilmarjama has passed Corsin Boos, and both of those, Ole Ilmarjama, he was 4th at the under 23 sprint distance and is probably looking for a medal. Corsin Boos is not under 23 anymore, but Isak Lundholm still is. So those two guys have started well in that class. And here I think it's the Austrian dress again. Now it can be Tobias Habenicht. Yes, coming out on this meadow. And you should see, I'm looking at the GPS, Belmashev is looking like he's doing the correct route choice also on the long leg to the 5th control. And just behind Tobias Habenicht, Jan-André Müller. So Jan-André, he has number 46 there, and he is on his way to another control, and it looks like he has broken his pole. Not a start, but we will see. He is quite close to, they have a fork on their map, and he's going there, and there will be some equipment there. I think maybe Tobias, no, is it Tobias Habenicht to stop there also? Some other athlete is standing there in there looking for the skis or a new pole, and Jan-André Müller working with his legs here, of course, losing a lot of time, and he has been passed by Vegard Gulbrandsen, so not to start. Looked like, yeah, Tobias Habenicht had some new equipment, and Jan-André Müller also. So then you know that you before the start of the race you can put some spare equipment and send them out to the forest. And now we have had Tuomas Uutinen to the 9th control, and he has had a good start. He is at 2nd position there, but almost a minute behind Josef Nagy. Josef Nagy, what a start of the race. And he had almost catch up on Misa Tuomala earlier, so we will see when they come to arena if he has his back, because Misa is a stable, routine ski orienteer looking for top 10 positions quite often, and that is not what Josef Nagy is used to. So I think he would really like some help to keep his focus all the way. But Josef Nagy, what a start. Rasmus Wickbom, he was there 1 second ahead of Tuomas Uttinen. We got his time now, but we knew he was around 1 minute behind. Behind Tuomas Uttinen, we had Jan-André Müller. We know he had some problems. We had Peter Horvath. We have seen he has lost some time. And then we have Vegard Gulbrandsen. So Vegard is probably the next good time. And we see here Mattis Jama. We saw when he did a shortcut, and he tries to do a shortcut now also. Not really certain where he is going. Number 41, and he has probably taken some time on Pias Habenicht, but not certain how his time is. I think out of those, Rasmus Wickbom is the best starter. He started 4 minutes behind Mattis and is not so far behind in the terrain. They are doing different route choices to the 11th control. Here we have Adomas Traubas coming into the finish, the Lithuanian, fighting against Mishisaka. That is Reo Mishisaka. He will be... I'm not certain, actually. I think he will be behind Reo Mishisaka. Not just some seconds. And there we had Øyvind Wiggen passing the arena, and he's 15th position, so not a great start for Øyvind there. Now we get to see, again, some replay. And we see Apovippola, Belamashev taking the left route choice there. We see Belamashev, Apovippola, Isak Lundholm. Then we have Vegard Gulbrandsen and Josef Nagy. They were actually some seconds behind already there, so I would say that the left route choice is the fastest, but maybe not so much faster. Belamashev, Isak Lundholm going straight, Apovippola, and Olle Ilmarjama going around quite long up to the north. And here we have number 26, and it be Ole Gunnar Kleppamalslien. Yes, nej, Henning Strand. No, it's 26. It was Ole Gunnar. That was number 26. Ole Gunnar Kleppamalslien in at perhaps new second best time, 58 seconds behind Timo Kudre. So he has 1:01.42. And Otto Timby at the third position there. We'll see who's coming behind him. 31, Kevin Hallop. We saw he had some big issues, had to turn around, and it looks like he is quite disappointed there. 13:45 before him, and now it's 50 seconds. So Josef Nagy has lost some time to Olle Ilmarjama. Interesting to see for those chasers, Rasmus Wickbom, Tuomas Uttinen. We're still waiting for Vegard Gulbrandsen to come quite soon to the 8th control, the first radio control. Kevin Hallop into the finish there. I think his day is over. Not so pleased. Here we see number 29. Is it Olle Ilmarjama? Olle Ilmarjama, you see the pace he's coming with, and he will take a lead here. Has he lost so much time? He was ahead at 9.2 kilometers. Now there we see the correct time. He is gonna take the lead with about 3 minutes, I think, versus Timo Kudre. It was 2 minutes with the arena passage, so he had just continued going harder and faster than Timo Kudre and working all the way, because Olle Ilmarjama, this is a good race. And we will see how far this can go. You were 4th at the Junior Under 23 World Championship Sprint Distance. Can this be a medal in that class? I'm not certain. We will wait to see. He takes the lead. 2:59 ahead of Timo Kudre. That's the first time under 1 hour in the men's class. So we will see. We saw in the end, in the women's class, that the time got quite much better. So I think we are looking... we will have to see 50, 51, 52. Vegard Gulbrandsen has been at the radio control at the exact same time as Josef Nagy. So Vegard Gulbrandsen, the Norwegian, has had a good start. He was 10th at the World Championship middle distance, and he was 7th this sprint distance. Had a lousy day yesterday, I have to say. Lousy day for him yesterday. And looking like he's going for a better race this day. He has passed Peter Horvath and catch quite a lot of time on the other starters. Ole Ilmajama, 2:59 ahead of Timo Kudre. Double Estonia in the top. Then we had Ole Gunnar, Kleppa Madslien, Otto Timby, Regimantas Kavaliauskas. And then there are more athletes here. Kevin Hallop did not finish. We saw he had equipment problem. But as I said earlier, at least there is one position you can send out equipment to. So if you break something quite near to that, of course you're always losing time, but you can continue your race. And we saw that both Noel Boos and Tobias Habenich could do that. So that is good. When we see the World Cup in cross-country skiing, they break poles, and there are always guys just bringing them after 100 meters. It's not the same in ski orienteering, but still you can continue your race and try to pick up positions and go get some points in the total World Cup. So we are looking at Vegard Gulbrandsen. He started ahead of Stanimir Belmarche 4 minutes. So sadly, Jonathan Ståhl should have started between them. He were a long time in the top yesterday, but had an issue with a tree. He crashed into a tree, broke one pole, broke one ski, and almost broke his jaw. So he was out on the hospital in Värö and doing some check-up there, but maybe a small concussion, so he's not going today. Number 39, that is Isak Lundholm, and he is there at number 6. He has lost some positions. He is 2 minutes behind Josef Nagy. And shouldn't that mean number 39? Yeah, but he's strong. Isak looks like he has a lot of power left, but clearly has had some difficulties. I think this can be one of the Finnish athletes coming here. I'm not certain. It can be Tuomas Uutinen, number 45 it looks like. Yeah, Tuomas Uutinen. And he has a good start. He was 5th at the first radio control. And then we have a new leader, Stanimir Belmarche, 40 seconds ahead of Josef Nagy and Vegard Gulbrandsen. So even though Stanimir, and you see here, making a shortcut, there's no hard snow crust longer, so it's better to see there have been shortcuts, keep in those, getting stopped there. I think that was where Magdalene Olsson made a shortcut in the latest class. As I said, Stanimir Belmarche with a good start, and he is ahead of Nicola Miller and Apo Vippola. And then we know Josef Nagy is 40 seconds behind, so it looks like he has. Then Nicola Miller does the right route choice, and then goes up again, losing time. Apo Vippola going from the back. I think Apo gained seconds there on Josef Nagy. But Nicola Miller definitely losing seconds, almost a minute there. Switching entirely with the route choice. I'm not really certain what he was thinking there.
Who is currently number 12 in world ranking.
As I said, we have Stanimir Belmarche leading at the first radio control, and comparing to Apo Vippola and Nicola Miller, he is ahead of those also. Styrk Kamsvåg, number 60. He is the last starter of today. He was 9th on the Friday sprint. He was 9th on the yesterday's pursuit. So we will see if he will be 9th today also. I think he has the pace for something better, but it needs to be technical solid all the way. And the Norwegians were up in Tromsø last week, competing there, and the network system was really, really dense. It would have been good training, but they could make shortcuts almost everywhere. So I'm not certain it was the best place to start for them. Looks like Gustav Nordström is taking another different route choice to this 5th control, because we can see I'm not certain. He's doing the left route choice, just like Apo Vippola. So we get to see Stanimir Belamashev. We see Apo Vippola should really soon be at the radio control, the TV control of the 3.5 kilometers. And here we have, can it be Mattis? Number 41. Mattis Yama at the arena change. Yes, Apo Vippola has been at the Radio 1. He is their new second best time, but he is still 35 seconds behind Stanimir Belamashev. And here we have Mattis Yama. And it looks like it will be tough for him to be the best Yama today. He is around 1.5 minutes behind Josef Nagy, and we know that his brother is around 50 seconds ahead of him here. So he's working. Mattis, who probably have lost a bit of his speed, but still a very solid ski orienteer. Looks like Jürgen Backlid, Nicola Miller losing some seconds in the beginning, and Niklas Ekström taking the right route choice. Looks like Niklas Ekström, Evert Toivonen having the start that they want to have. And yeah, they are clearly ahead of the other guys. Then there is Stavin Belamashev, Nicola Miller, Apo Vippola, Jürgen Backlid. Evert Toivonen actually in the lead here. Apo Vippola making a good route choice there. So it's depending a bit. I see Rasmus Wickbom is coming quite soon to the arena passage, and as I was thinking, we can say this: Ole Ilmarjama still in the lead ahead of Timo Kudre and Ole Gunnar Kleppo-Madslien. Rasmus Wickbom has been having very big sickness issues and not been able to compete at the level that he is able of. But he's at the radio second, taking a new best time, so he will very soon be at the arena passage. Here we have Jürgen Backlid, and he is taking the left route choice to this fifth control. And if you plan to go in from the left, I'm not certain that it's slower. I think it's it looks quite good, and we know Jürgen and his strength out in the forest. So we are looking here. I'm not certain which is the best route choice. Niklas Ekström doing the same route choice that Mattis Yama, and yeah, he's doing the shortcut. Niklas Ekström losing himself there, losing a lot of time. Here we see Rasmus Wickbom, the new leader at the arena passage. He's 22 seconds ahead of Josef Nagy. He were more than a minute behind him earlier, so he has had a good continuing of his race. Getting to hear it here. This is I think this will be the best Swede. Then Jonathan Stoll disappeared. Rasmus Wickbom will probably be the best Swede today. This race suits him quite well. Niklas Ekström, he is doing the same mistake as Mattis Yama and losing. I'm saying it's not seconds, it's a minute. So the double winner here in Estonia making a big mistake to the fifth control. We see Jürgen Backlid. He will not be able to catch up on him, but they will meet each other, and I think Niklas will see I have lost. Here we have Pyri Risanen. Pyri Risanen coming towards the finish. I think it will be a new second best time. He has had the same speed as Ole Ilmarjama the last loop, and is around 40-50 seconds behind Ole. And Pyri Risanen, he were fifth at the junior under-23 world championship this sprint distance. He had lost some more seconds here at Ole Ilmarjama in the end, but I think this is a good race. We will wait and see. There are not so many under-23 starting behind him. So he goes in there as a new second best time. Isak Lundholm, Andri Jordi, Tuomas Uutinen and Niklas Ekström are the ones who can beat him down from the medal position. And we are looking more who can come after Rasmus Wickbom here towards the arena passage. Here we get to see a replay. You see Jürgen Backlid going the left. He's the only one going the left. Niklas Ekström going the right. Evert Toivonen having some broadcasting problems there. And now you will see Niklas Ekström going in on the shortcut. And it looks like, I'm not certain where Evert Toivonen is. Maybe he's not really there yet. It looks like Jürgen Backlid has passed the other guys out in the forest. So Niklas Ekström still in the race, but has lost a lot of time. Here at the arena, after 6.5 kilometers, Rasmus Wikbom is in the lead, 22 seconds ahead of Josef Nagy, and then Ole Ilmar Jawa at the third position. And I think maybe there can be one of the Norwegians coming quite soon after Rasmus Wikbom. Thomas Uotinen should be here. I think he has lost time. Not been able. Yeah, he's quite far behind when coming to this. And then we have Vegard Gulbrandsen starting 6 minutes behind him as the next good athlete. And here I think we have one more athlete who has...
we have new third best time at 6.2 kilometers by Tuomas Oudinen.
Can be Stanimir Belamashev? No. Not certain who this is. But you see, snow conditions were great in the beginning of the week. And it has been rough. But still, the organizers have worked really well to establish good, fair competition. And I would say very demanding. So the best racers are the best in the top here. There we see Kortin Boos, and we know he was really good in the start. He has lost positions, he has lost time, but he is still going in at the third position here in the finish. And I would say that's a good race for Kortin Boos, especially with the course he has had behind him. This is not the course that Korsin would have preferred, but he has had a stable race, have had some issues. We have not seen them, but he has lost time in the end. And coming into the finish here as a new third best time. And then we are also waiting for Tuomas Uotinen. I said he was a bit behind. He is a bit behind. He is around a minute behind Rasmus Wikbom, so he should very soon come in here and change his map. But still in the race for the top position, he was there. He was actually there ahead of Ole Ilmar Jawa, who is leading in the finish. And we are also waiting for Josef Nagy. He has been at the Radio 4 and he has lost more time on Ole Ilmar Jawa. Josef Nagy has lost more time. Here we have number 54. It looks like the Mr. Kvåleman, Björnar Kvåle, coming there, and he is far behind. He is 2 minutes behind at the 9th position. We know Stanimir Belamashev had a clear lead there, 35 seconds. And behind Björnar Kvåle started Niklas Ekström. Then we know Niklas Ekström, you see, he has gained a lot of time on Björnar, but he's still behind Stanimir Belamashev, maybe looking at around a minute behind Stanimir here. And Jürgen Backlid started behind Niklas Ekström. I'm not certain where Niklas' track ends, but it looks like Jürgen is a bit ahead of Niklas. So the big athletes are coming. We see Henrik Frickson Oss doing the same route choice as... here we have Niklas Ekström taking the control. And then he is at the 4th position. He is around... No, I have to count. 43 seconds behind Stanimir Belamashev. So he lost around a minute into that 5th control. And then I think I can, by certain means, say that Jürgen Backlid, he is not ahead of Stanimir Belamashev. Looking like Stanimir Belamashev having the best start here of the race. Evert Toivonen, of course, coming behind Jürgen. And it looks like he is closer than 2 minutes, but maybe not as much as hoped for. Niklas Ekström, as I said, in there at 19:03. He was 5th there, 48 seconds behind Stanimir Belamashev. Jürgen Backlid, we are waiting for him here. And he still has some way to go. He will not be able to beat Stanimir Belamashev. Stanimir's start of the race is great. And Stanimir has taken the 11th control. I have to look at the starting list. Actually, I think that Apo may have... he'll probably be behind still. We're hearing polls now. Yep, here we have Jürgen Backlid. And then he will be number 2. You see, he's 20 seconds behind Stanimir Belamashev. Looking carefully at the map. Almost putting down the control. Yeah, great start from Jürgen Backlid after a bit slower route choice to the 2nd control. So he continues out of the control, and here we get to see Evert Toivonen. He goes straight over there. Niklas Ekström's mistake. So Evert, he was clearly ahead, and I think he still is ahead because it looked like he was closer than 2 minutes to Jürgen Backlid. Evert Toivonen, should it be finally the time that he really shows his strength and come up? He goes around this small hill into that control. Nicola Müller here to the 11th control. He is definitely behind Apo Vipola and Stanimir Belomashev still. He were actually almost 1.5 minutes behind Stanimir Belomashev earlier at the Radio 1. And we are waiting for... Still, we have some runners who haven't been at the first radio. We are waiting for Henrik Frixenos, of course, Evert Toivonen we are waiting for, and then we have John Schneider and Styrk Kamsvåg. I don't see where John Schneider is. John Schneider, I can say it right now, he's out of the race. He has had some really big issue, and he has been passed by Styrk Kamsvåg with, it looks like 2 minutes, so he has lost 4 minutes. And here we have Evert Toivonen, number 57. And he is here at the new best time, 14 seconds ahead of Stanimir Belomashev. And then we know that Evert Toivonen has really just kept on going. And he likes this part of the course, this ski orienteering with a lot of technical. But I think looking at this, I think we see a small mistake from Evert going to the 9th control. Here we have Misa Tomala. We know he was catched up by Josef Nagy, and I don't see Josef, and he has lost time. So Misa Tomala coming in here. He will not beat Pyri Risanen, his teammate from Finland. He will probably go in as number 3 in the finish. But Josef Nagy, where are the Czech? We know he were some seconds behind Ulil Mayama earlier, and I don't see him. I think that Ulil Mayama, he will keep his lead for some more seconds. We take in Misa Tomala. He is 126 behind Ulil Mayama. And that was not the Czech dress, that was the Swiss dress. So Josef Nagy has lost some more seconds. I see here, yeah, he is more than 30 seconds behind. He will take the 2nd position if he doesn't do a grave mistake into this lost control. But here we have the Swiss. This is number 36, which means it's Noel Bos, and he has finished quite good, but is coming in towards Tobias Kugler, Switzerland against Austria. And then it looks like it's the Norwegians. Josef Nagy has lost time in the end. And Noel Bos taking Tobias Kugler. We should see. I'm not certain. Yeah, 1 second ahead of Tobias Kugler for Noel Bos. And then we have, I think Henrik Strand. He's a long way behind. Öyvind Viggen also having a bad race. Here we have him, Josef Nagy. He has lost time in the end. What is his time at the moment? I think he's looking for a 2nd position in the finish. This is still one of the best races for Josef Nagy ever in the World Cup. We have to get his time. We see he's pushing really hard. Yeah, he will beat Pyri Risanen, but he has lost time. He has been tired here in the end. And those seconds can be dreadful for Josef Nagy. He will beat Pyri Risanen, but only with some seconds in the finish there. 58.46, 101. And you see he has given it all out there. Josef Nagy, who had a great start and have had some more issues, or perhaps just lost the pace against his opponents. But tremendous race for Josef Nagy. I think he's very pleased with his performance today. But Ulil Mayama still in the lead, 1 minute and 1 second ahead of Josef Nagy, Pyri Risanen, and then we are waiting for also another arena passage. Then we have Vegard Gulbrandsen has been here. He is taking the lead with 1 minute, and we know that just 4 minutes behind Vegard Gulbrandsen, Stanimir Belomashev started. And looking at the GPS, it looks like Stanimir is on his way, but not as big lead. He has lost time towards Vegard Gulbrandsen. Here we see John Schneider, and I said quite hard counted him out. He has had big issues, and it looks like he's not certain. He knows where he is, but you see he's making an own shortcut here. I think he's probably a bit disappointed with his day. Here we have Peter Horvath coming in, and I have to look. Peter Horvath started 2 minutes ahead of Vegard Gulbrandsen, so he's a bit behind. And just 2 minutes behind Stanimir Belmashev, Apo Vipola started. Here we have Stanimir Belmashev, and he is coming in here at a best time, but not so far. He is counting something, shouting something, I'm not certain. 18 seconds ahead of Vegard Gulbrandsen, and of course Stanimir Belmashev, he's a routine guy, but that doesn't look like a guy who's in control over his race. He has lost some time on Vegard Gulbrandsen. He's shouting to the organizers. Now he needs to find his focus again, because he's going in to this marsh track system, which is really dense, and he needs to keep his focus and calm, because if he continues like this, he is on his way to perhaps a podium position, definitely a medal, a flower ceremony. I think top 6 looking good for Stanimir. And here we have Apo Vipola. Yes, he is even better. He has catched up time on Stanimir Belmashev. He is 40 seconds ahead of Stanimir Belmashev, and we know he was 35 seconds behind earlier. So Apo Vipola has had a really good 3 kilometers between Radio 1 and Radio 2 here at the arena passage, taking the map, and you see it looks like he's more focused on what he is doing, taking the map, putting it in his map holder, and getting the clock and knows that if you're ahead of Stanimir Belmashev, he was second at the Radio 1. So this looks like a good race. We see here Evert Toivonen. I think he lost some time there. I actually did a shortcut, but he lost time. Stanimir Belmashev gained 15 seconds on him there. Jürgen Buckley there. Apo Vipola taking another route choice. Evert Toivonen making a shortcut there. And now they're turning around, taking the shortcut. And then Apo Vipola doesn't know he can do that because we're not going that pace into the control. So Toivonen, Buckley, Belmashev together, and we know at the arena that Apo Vipola is 40 seconds ahead of Belmashev. So we will see, and it looked like Niklas Ekström and Vegard Gulbrandsen were a bit behind, but we know Vegard was only 18 seconds behind him. So Stanimir has done some problem, and here we see Mattis Jaman, and I think he has been catched by the Norwegian. I'm not certain. Hard to see. They are using our. Can it be? He's with some of the Austrian Tobias Habenicht. Here we have Isak Lundholm coming into the finish. No, yeah, he has lost more time. He has had some issues. Isak Lundholm, a strong cross-country skier. But his orienteering skills, sadly, this season has not been the best. He took the silver medal at the Junior World Championship middle distance last year, and have had more issues this year. But a man with the future in front of him, coming in at the 7th position, 3:49 behind, and I think he is not pleased with that performance. So then it's more interesting to see Mattis Jama, I think. Here we see Evert Toivonen. So this is a time of where they are. And you see Jürgen Buckley almost has catch up on Niklas Ekström. This is a nice feeling for Jürgen Buckley. And if they can go together, perhaps they can help each other. Jürgen is not entirely in the back of Niklas Ekström, but looking at maybe 20 seconds. So we know Niklas Ekström still was just behind 30 seconds behind Jürgen earlier, so he has lost more time. Mattis Jama coming into the finish. He has passed Tobias Habenicht, the Austrian, and Mattis coming in, probably looking at the 5th position and passing number 46 there, changing the map. It was Gian-André Müller. Yeah, Mattis Jama here. It's tight of these positions. And as I said, he would have to fight to be the best Jama today, and he is behind his brother. So it looks like he will not be able to beat Peter Risanen. Looking at Misa Tuomala, I think the seconds is ticking out on him. 10 seconds towards Misa Tuomala. And the flags have not started yet, the branches. He will be behind Misa Tuomala into the 5th position at the moment. So this Ole Ilmarjama's race looking faster and faster. Nicola Müller should also be coming into this arena passage very soon. So we are waiting for the red and white. Here we see Apo Vippola comparing to Stanimir Belomashev. And you see he is white without a doubt ahead of Stanimir. And he turns around. I'm not certain exactly where this control goes. On the ladies class, the left route choice, I think the left route choice will be faster. So I think Apo will lose seconds here towards his opponents. Yep, and Nicola Müller has been here at the arena. He is at 4th position, you should see after Vegard Gulbrands, and he is 23 seconds. And after Apo Vippola, then it means he's 120. I think Apo Vippola will lose seconds here. Here we see Rasmus Wickbom coming into the finish. Is he in new best time? I'm not certain. It looks like he will take the lead. He has kept on extending his lead towards Ole Ilmarjama. At the arena passage earlier, there was 1:14. He has lost some seconds, but he will take the lead. Rasmus Wickbom. And this race is climbing in the stairs. Rasmus Wickbom fighting every bit of the last course here, turning around the 180 degrees. The Swedish athlete who was 8th position yesterday, and I think saying that before that I was thinking Rasmus would be probably a top 10 race. Ole Ilmarjama will also have a good position in the end. Coming towards the finish, finishing there, he has lost 30-40 seconds, but taking the lead with 37 seconds ahead of Ole Ilmarjama. So, Swedish leader at the moment, but we are waiting for faster skiers. We have to see. 4 minutes behind Rasmus. Thomas Uotinen started. He were behind him earlier. So we will have to see how he goes now. Here we see Gustav Nordström, who have had a good start of the race. He's number 5th, only 15 seconds behind Nicola Müller, passing here. And then I'm quite surprised Gustav Nordström really did a good job in this hard course. Then he has to keep his focus all the way, taking something to drink and then continuing. So we have to wait and see. I think that now we get to see a replay. Apo Vippola going the other direction. We saw Niklas Ekström had lost. Oh, you see he didn't do the shortcut there. Lost seconds there. He's losing seconds all the time, it looks like. Evert Toivonen, Jörgen Buckley, Stanimir Belomashev. Apo Vippola doing the straight, and then Stanimir Belomashev doing this. I think it's here. He lost time there. Evert Toivonen in the lead, Jörgen Buckley. Then we have Apo Vippola at the 3rd position at the moment. So, Evert Toivonen going around the hill there, coming in from a slightly different direction. Here we see Miska Tervala coming into the finish, taking the 8th position, and he is really disappointed. At least he didn't have to buy a new pole after that. I know the feeling, but those poles are quite expensive, of course. These athletes, they are pros, they get some, but it's not like you are able to break every race. Evert Toivonen coming in towards the 12th control, and you see Jörgen Buckley still hasn't catched Ekström, but he is able to see his back. Here we see Jörgen Buckley coming into the control. Niklas Ekström has taken the control, and he sees, okay, then I go out. This is something that Jörgen can benefit quite a lot of, and we know how strong Niklas Ekström is. So just being able to see his back and working with it. We see Björn Pole coming in here and having a good time. He is around Rasmus Wickbom here. Yes, he is 6th position. So he is actually ahead of Rasmus Wickbom at that position, just behind Gustav Nordström. So fighting for the top 10 position, Björn Akole here. But we are waiting for those started behind him. Niklas Ekström, we know he has lost some time. But then we know Jörgen Backlid is coming with big steps behind him. And then behind Jörgen, Evert Toivonen. So there are some really fast athletes coming towards the arena passage soon. And we are also waiting for... we could see how I'm looking at the GPS, and actually Alpo Vipola has catched up on Stanimir Belamashev. At the finish line, the standing at the moment, Rasmus Wickbom ahead of Ole Ilmayama, Josef Nagy, and in the under 23, the lead is Ole Ilmayamas. Then we have Pyri Risanen at the second position. Here we see Niklas Ekström coming in to the arena passage, and he is 1:04, and then we know Jörgen Backlid taking the lead. Yes, Jörgen Backlid taking a big lead there ahead of Alpo Vipola, around 35-40 seconds, but still not being able to catch up on Niklas back. And we know there was a bit green forest at the beginning here, so we will see if he's able to see Niklas, or if Niklas having some issues getting the map in the map holder. Then quite fast and going hard. He doesn't want Björgen to catch up those 10 seconds on his back. And see Jörgen also working with the map, trying to get it in the map holder. Just going with his legs. I think Niklas Ekström is... Jörgen looks solid. He knows now that he is in the lead, and it is his race to lose. We are still waiting for Evert Toivonen. He has not been at the radio control. Has he lost time? Jörgen taking some things to drink. So now he definitely doesn't see Niklas Ekström. And here we see Tuomas Uutinen coming into the finish. And I think he will be behind both Rasmus Wickbom and Ole Ilmayama. Tuomas Uutinen also in the under 23 class. Can he beat Pyri Risanen? We have to get a time on him. Yes, he will beat Pyri Risanen. He will come in on the third place and second place in the under 23. And I can say, those two will definitely get a medal today. Ole Ilmayama, Tuomas Uutinen. It's only Niklas Ekström who is in the class and able to beat any of those guys left in the forest.
Second place in the U23 category.
So he's looking for a medal today, Tuomas. We'll see if it's the silver or the bronze. So probably Niklas Ekström will... he had a better pace, but he has to do everything correct in this tricky last part of the race. We're still waiting for the next really good time. Vegard Gulbrandsen, he started 6 minutes behind Tuomas Uutinen, but he was also clearly ahead of him when they were at the arena passage. Here we have Andri Jordi. Andri Jordi started 2 minutes ahead of Tuomas Uutinen, and is coming here for probably pushing down Tobias Habenicht and taking the 11th position in the finish. So we will see what time they will end up with, but they will not be under 50 minutes, probably not under 52 either. I'm waiting for Evert Toivonen, but where is he? I think he should be here any second now. Maybe I can see him in the back. Evert Toivonen coming there. Yes, number 57, and you hear the Finnish leaders. They are screaming on him. He gets to realize this is a great race on the way. He is at second position, 31 seconds behind Jörgen Backlid. So he is in the fight for the win today. Evert Toivonen, I have said it before, I definitely think it would be fun if he goes to get up on the podium again, because he has been 4th, 5th, 6th so many times, and he is such a great athlete, working hard to become better and better. And second position here right now, and we know we only have 3 starters behind him. John Schneider will not be ahead of him. Henrik Fredriksen Oss will not be ahead of him. And Styrk Kamsvåg, not really certain, but I think it looks like Styrk is the fastest one out of them, if I look on the GPS tracking.
These are Henrik Fredriksen Oss, John Schneider and Styrk Kamsvåg. We do only have one intermediate time from Styrk Kamsvåg, which is 23rd. The first intermediate so
but we know Styrk were far behind on the first, so I think actually it's just that here we see Henrik Fredriksen Oss 34-34, and we know Jürgen Buckley had 34-33 coming into the arena passage. So this will not be a threat towards the top 3 guys. It's a good race from Henrik Eriksson also. He will be there top 10, top 6, top 7, but I think he's too far behind to challenge for the podium positions. And then 4 minutes behind him, we saw Styrk Hamsvåg started, but I'm not certain what he is doing. He looks like he's going home. So I would say here we see Vegard Gulbrandsen coming into the finish, and we know we were ahead of Rasmus Wigboom. Can he take the lead? He will take the lead. Vegard Gulbrandsen, the Norwegian, he is 6th position at the arena passage, coming here, and he has had a great last loop also. He had towards Rasmus, he had 55 seconds. It's more now. It's more now. Not really much more, but he has had a good, strong last loop. And going in here, maybe for the top 6 positions in the end, Vegard Gulbrandsen coming, and he pushes everything he's got in his body, trying to gain as much seconds as possible. And we have Stanimir 4 minutes behind him starting. So coming into the finish there, 1:10 ahead of Rasmus Wigboom. And actually I said maybe too much for Henrik Eriksson because he is at the 5th position at the Radio 2, just 1.5 minutes behind Jürgen Buckley. Yeah, here he comes. You see, 5th position. He is just 5 seconds behind Stanimir Belomashev. So he is working really good. And this is the last threat because John Schneider, he had big issues. Styrk Hamsvåg is coming home. I'm not certain if something has broke for him. So these are no threat. And Stanimir Belomashev, he was almost catched up by Apo Vippola. But now it's a lot of time between them. So Apo have had some different route choosing or problems out there. And then we know that Apo Vippola, who was 3rd here at the arena passage, he has done something, which means that Henrik Fryksenås maybe can do something to change that. And we also have Nicola Müller out there at the Radio 4. Apo Vippola is in the lead, and we don't have Stanimir Belomashev's time there, but I think he is 2nd and 3rd position at Nicola Müller. Yeah, Stanimir Belomashev has taken the last, 2nd to last control. Here we get to see them. Buckley ahead of Toivonen och Apo Vippola. They are going together there, and Ekström Belomashev. And we see both Finns are turning around there. Here we see Stanimir Belomashev coming in to the finish. He turns around. He did a mistake there. We were not certain where to go. And here we see Styrk Hamsvåg having some difficulties stopping his race. Stanimir Belomashev, number 50, the Bulgarian. He has been 2nd and 5th here in Estonia. Will it be another top 6 position for Stanimir? He's working against Vegard Gulbrandsen, the current leader in the finish. And I think he might be able, 55-58 for Vegard. And Stanimir coming in to the last control very, very soon. And as I said, he has been able to leave Apo Vippola behind him after Apo catch 2 minutes on him. Here he comes to the last control, turning in, taking that, and should go around later. And then going in here to the finish. I think he will take the lead, but not with so much time. Actually, they were quite close at the arena passage. 18 seconds between them. We will see who has done the best last loop. He will be ahead of him, and then we also start looking for the finish dress. Blue and white, Apo Vippola. I think he has lost some time. Stanimir here coming and will probably take the lead with around 20-30 seconds ahead of Vegard Gulbrandsen. Still having a lot of power in his body. And a great season for Stanimir. Looking for probably the 4th position in the overall World Cup. Because Nicola Müller is also doing a good race today. And you see, the clock is ticking. It takes longer time than we're expecting here. and he has lost time. We saw a mistake. He has lost time, and he is in the finish there. He is 17 seconds ahead of Vegard Gulbrandsen. And still we see here Apo Vippola. Is there a podium position for Apo Vippola? I think so. Even though he has done something in the end, this is a good race. I think he's looking for the third position. In the end, we will see how Evert and Jürgen finishes their race. So he's taking the turn here. And as I said, he were almost together with Stanimir Belmashev, so he has lost time. We were almost 2 minutes ahead of him, and it looks like he will take the lead with a bit more than 1 minute ahead of Stanimir Belmashev. But as I said, Apo Vippola, he likes Estonia. Estonia likes Apo. Taking the lead, 1:12 ahead of Stanimir Belmashev, 1.5 minutes ahead of Vegard Gulbrandsen. And I think, as we saw on the GPS, it looked like Jürgen Bucklid has catched up on Niklas Ekström. We have to see here. See Peter Horvath coming to the finish. Czech. Not certain his race. It has not been the best race for Peter. Coming in around position 18, 21, 22 actually. The clock was ticking fast for Peter in the end of this race. So we have, I would say, 5 people that can go in at the top 3 positions at the moment. Left in the forest, Jürgen Bucklid, Evert Toivonen, Henrik Fredriksson, Nikola Müller, and Niklas Ekström. And Niklas Ekström also fighting for the Under-23 World Championship. And you see here, you're definitely losing time on the turning around. So Jürgen Bucklid in the lead, ahead of Apo Vippola and Evert Toivonen. Evert doing another route choice, comparing to Apo Vippola. And looks like he lost some seconds there, but it's quite close. And you see Jürgen Bucklid, this is actually a mistake, because we saw in the ladies class, it's faster to go longer on the wide track, then take the second narrow track to the left and go back a bit on the wide track. So some seconds can be made on Jürgen there, but still I think Jürgen, looking at the GPS, he has Niklas Ekström 15 seconds ahead of him. He really is using that back to keep the speed up. So we'll see. You see here, yeah, he's looking at the back. Niklas Ekström going the left route choice. Björnar Kvåle did the right route choice. And to the position where Björnar is at the moment, it's definitely faster to go the left. We'll see if Niklas continues left all the way around. I think he will do that. And as you see, Jürgen Bucklid around 15 seconds behind Niklas. And taking the same route choice. Of course, Jürgen Bucklid, you know how good he is. He can do this by himself. But it's always a help to have someone showing the way, showing, okay, this is a good route choice. And if you're getting tired, keeping the pace up. So, and he's definitely stressing Niklas Ekström also, who wants to beat Jürgen. He wants to be the best. He has been the best 2 days in a row, but today is not Niklas' day. He will not win this race. So we are waiting for Nikola Müller towards the finish. And it looks like he is fighting hard with Rasmus Wickbom for the 4th position at the moment. He will not be able to beat Vegard Gulbrandsen. He is a minute behind him. He will not be able to beat Apo or Stanimir. Here we get to see the Swiss athlete. It's Jan-André Müller, but I think just ahead of him it's Nikola Müller. We saw something red and white there going into the... I think Jan-André, this is not the best route choice. Going the... the narrow track they are going straight on. I think that is slower. We will see how it will be. Here he comes, Nikola Müller. Actually, he did the left track. Looking here at the clock is ticking for Nikola Müller. He has been out in 56:21. Now we see. Now I'm taking the clock here. He was the 150 behind. I think it will be tough to beat Rasmus Wickbom. 40 seconds from here. I think I think Nicola Miller will be beaten by the Swede today. Have lost some positions in the end. But I'm not certain. The clock is ticking fast, but also Nicola Miller is fast. So he's coming here to the turnaround. We also know that he will be behind Rasmus Wickbom. Yes, he will. He has lost the time here in the end. Maybe the last route choice was not the best for Nicola Miller, and he is behind Rasmus. He will take a new 5th best time. He will be ahead of Olle Ilmarjama. So Nicola Miller, maybe looking at around 8th, 9th position in the end of this race. Coming in at the moment at 5th position. And then we know the finish is around 1 minute. So you have to have a little more than 1 minute when you take the last control to be able to take the lead. Now we see Jörgen Backlid, Evert Toivonen here. Evert going around there, being able to catch some seconds, I think, on Jörgen. Definitely gained some seconds there. We know how strong Jörgen is, and it didn't look like he did any mistake so far. Evert, I think these are the top. Evert having some issues choosing right route choice there. Both going over the lake. Looks like Jörgen Backlid must do some mistake to lose this. I think this is John Schneider coming into the map change. And as I said, his rate is not the best. Looking at a position quite long down in the result list. But at least he can be happy for his wife, Daisy's sake. We also have Gustav Nordström coming into the finish. He were ahead of Rasmus Wickbom at the arena passage. But I think he will be behind now because I saw him there. And the clock is ticking. And he beat Olle Ilmarjama. There are a second fight between those two. John Schneider. And here we see Evert Toivonen and Jörgen Backlid. There are just 10 seconds, 15 seconds maybe. Jörgen has not any seconds to do a mistake here. We know that Nicola Miller actually lost some time to the last control. And then we see Niklas Ekström. This is the GPS replay, so in the forest they are probably around at the same time. Gustav Nordström fighting these last meters. Can he be able to beat Nicola Miller actually? He does a good end, but I think the clock is ticking away for him. Yep, he will not be able to beat Nicola Miller, and he will be just behind him at the 6th position at the moment. 2:59, 3 seconds behind Nicola Miller and 3 minutes behind Aapo Vippola. Number 55, Niklas Ekström coming here. We don't see Jörgen Backlid. It is still ahead or behind Niklas Ekström. You see here Niklas coming into the finish. He started 4 minutes behind Gustav Nordström. So I think still Niklas Ekström can have a really good position in the end. But we will see. If we see Jörgen Backlid taking another route choice, I think Jörgen is just behind Niklas here. Björnar Kåle coming into the finish. Looking a bit tired, but has done a good last loop. I think this is the best race for Björnar in a while. He will go into the 4th position and putting the Swedish down. But Niklas Ekström coming, but we are looking for the red and blue Norwegian. There we have Jörgen Backlid, I think that is. And you see Niklas Ekström. He will take the new 2nd best position. He will beat Stanimir Belomashev and just be behind Aapo Vippola. But we know Jörgen Backlid had a better time than him. Jörgen Backlid will take a big lead. With more than a minute, it looks like, ahead of Aapo Vippola. Niklas Ekström, he has a lot of power. It's so impressive, Niklas Ekström. He has done mistakes, but looking at it, Jörgen is not able to catch his back, even though he has been behind him like 20 seconds, 15 seconds for just 20 minutes. Niklas Ekström coming into the finish, taking the 2nd position, but we are looking for Jörgen Backlid. He looks a bit tired, but I think that might be today's winner. We will see. I haven't seen any mistake from him coming into the finish and taking the lead with 1 minute and 2 seconds. And we are waiting for the only one who can threaten Jörgen. That's Evert Toivonen. And we also have Henrik Fredriksson Aas, who were 5th at the arena passage, and he looks like he was 5th after that also. So I think he is still fighting towards Stanimir Belmashev's time. Jörgen Backlid taking the lead, even though he didn't show as much speed as... Oh, looking to the last control, Evert Toivonen is taking the same route choice as Anna Ulvensen did. And it's looking really, really tight. I think we will hear shouting from the Finnish leaders quite soon, because this is going on the second between Jörgen Backlid and Evert Toivonen. And it didn't look like Jörgen Backlid really had the power in the end. It looks like he is some second ahead of Evert Toivonen, but this is very, very tight. Evert taking another route choice into the control, and now we're hearing the shouting. It will definitely be position 1 or 2. We know Nicola Miller had around 1 minute on the finish. He has done some seconds here. I think Evert Toivonen will beat Jörgen Backlid today, because you hear that he's working really hard. Evert Toivonen, the Finnish athlete, he's waited so long for being at the top. Can this be the day? Can the seconds be on his side? He's working, he has to turn around quite soon, and he has still 20-25 seconds to go towards Jörgen Backlid, and he's turning around there. Can it be possible? They are shouting as much as they can. I think this is just gonna be on the seconds between Evert Toivonen and Jörgen Backlid. He has 10 seconds on his way. We know some second behind, coming towards the finish line. I think he will take it. Evert Toivonen coming in at 1 second ahead of Jörgen Backlid, winning his first World Cup. Evert Toivonen with 1 second ahead of Jörgen Backlid. What a finish! And that was worth all the fighting, Evert. A big congratulations to the Finnish athlete. As I said before, he has been 4th, 5th, 6th so many times, and he is finally on the top. I'm feeling it. I think that Evert is feeling it also. Looking at his Finnish teammates, they are really happy for Evert's sake. He had a struggle in the World Championship, ended there with a 5th place in the middle distance, and today he is unbeatable, at least with 1 second, taking the win ahead of Jörgen Backlid, because Henrik Fredriksson won't be able to beat Evert Toivonen. Looking at the finish, you see here Evert Toivonen, Jörgen Backlid, Apo Vippola, Niklas Ekström, Stanimir Belmashev, and that's probably there, and somewhere around there we will have Henrik Fredriksson in the end also. And looking at it, he did his own route choice to the last control compared to almost every other athlete, has gone straight there. He used the wide track and passed Jörgen Backlid. That is great orienteering all the way into the finish. So really nice to see Evert. And in the under 23 class, we are definitely complete. There, Niklas Ekström takes the gold, just as this Friday. And the second position, I think, goes to Uli Elmayama ahead of Thomas Ekström.
You were quite close to Jörgen all the time, but he was ahead of you all the time. Even at the last control, he was 3 seconds ahead. Where did you find this strength to make this good?
My teammates were shouting so hard, so I felt that now something's going on, and I just tried to push and push. Luckily this time the seconds were on my side.
You must have done very good last part of the course also.
Well, yeah, actually I felt quite opposite. That I had a good start, but then I heard here in map change that I'm second, and then my legs started shaking. But no mistakes, but I think that I could have done better route choices in the end as well.
In this
First victory in World Cup for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's the first World Cup victory forever.
You see Evert's teammates really happy for him, and as he said, I heard my teammates shouting, so something is going on. This is scored at his best. And as he said, finally he gets the second on his side. We are still having Henrik Frixenås out there. And he's coming here. Yes, coming towards the finish. I think he, as I said, he will have around 1 minute from this, 1:20, 2:20. I think he will be behind Stanimir Brenner-Marshall, but probably ahead of Vegard Gulbrandsen if he finishes this good. So he's fighting for the 6th position, Henrik Frixenås, and he is a middle distance guy, Henrik. He likes the individual start better than together with the other athletes, and he is a technician. I've had a really good race today, and it will probably be top 6 for him. So it is Finland, Norway, Finland, Finland, Bulgaria, Norway, 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 and then Sweden at the 9th position, 10th position, Switzerland. So today there were, I would say, better from the Scandinavians than yesterday or the Friday's race. And the time for Stanimir Brenner-Marshall goes out there for Henrik Frixenås, and he will be ahead of Vegard Gulbrandsen and his teammate, pushing him down a place in the end. And then we only have Sean Schneider, but we know he was not even top 30 when he was 40 passing the arena. He can of course pick up some time. He's a good athlete who had really big issues in the beginning, but he will probably not be top 30. Here we get to see Jörgen Backlid clearly ahead of Evert Toivonen when they take this control, but Evert goes out to the wide track and Jörgen taking the narrow track up and quite a bit closer, but you see the speed Evert Toivonen coming with, and here it looked like Jörgen Backlid still had some seconds. Evert Toivonen making another route choice into the control so he can come up with the speed, and just passing Jörgen on the last meters with 1 second. Evert Toivonen taking his first World Cup victory in his career. Jörgen Backlid second, Apo Vippola third, Niklas Ekström fourth, Stanimir Brenner-Marshall fifth, Henrik Frixenås 6th, Vegard Gulbrandsen 7th, and we had Björn Akpole 8th, Rasmus Wickbom 9th, and Nikola Müller at 10th position. And as I said, under 23 World Championship middle distance winner of the gold medal, Niklas Ekström, he was winning ahead of Olle Ilmarjama, and on the bronze position, Tuomas Puttinen. So those were the guys that will be rewarding, collecting the medals. But as I said, the weather has not been kind to the organizers this last week, and they have struggled. They have worked out in the terrain. They have had to shovel snow on some positions, but looking at the course, looking at the tracks, looking at the results list, they have been able to arrange very good competitions with the best athletes ending on top. A really tricky ski orienteering all the way into the finish. So that has been really nice to watch, and it's not for naught that you're feeling it in your blood that it would have been really fun to be there and competing. So I hope we have also seen there are a lot of World Masters Championship going on here also. So there are a lot of contestants enjoying and being out in the forest, going on these tracks, and you see they are starting over. Here they are fixing with the flowers and some of the awards that should be given. Today we will have 4 classes getting some prizes, awards, cheering. We'll hear some national anthems. They are standing here in some kind of traditional Estonian dress. And here we get to see the GPS replay from the men. And we know it changed a lot during this. So Jörgen Buckley having some issues there in the beginning. And then Evert Toivonen making the best route choice here, gaining some seconds, going all the way around and in on the black road, coming to the second control from the back. Jörgen Buckley doing a good control to the second, passing Apo Vippola and gaining seconds on Stanimir Belomashev. Then taking the third control, Apo Vippola taking it from the back. I think that was a good route choice, making some shortcuts on the lake. But then directly making a mistake and losing those seconds. Here we saw Jörgen Buckley taking another route choice than the other guys. And it was around ±0, I would have to say. And probably he gained some seconds towards Stanimir Belomashev. And doesn't have to take so much climb, and you see they are there together. And then they take different route choices, and Stanimir gaining seconds, being able to do some shortcuts out on these Porsches. Evert clearly having a lead here, going around to the 7th control. I think he lost some seconds there, but we knew he was ahead 15 seconds, and then taking a slower route choice to the 9th control. Stanimir Belomashev catching up on him. And then going to the 10th control here, together as it looks, or not together. Apo Vippola taking quite a different route choice, and then turning around, and again, see Stanimir Belomashev going around there, losing seconds. Evert Toivonen in the lead, just ahead of Jörgen Buckley, then Stanimir Belomashev. Apo Vippola going the other route choice, coming all the way around here. Evert and Jörgen going out on the black road and coming from the down. Stanimir Belomashev goes up on the meadow, losing quite a lot of time there because he was right behind, and there it looked like more than a minute. Evert Toivonen and Jörgen Buckley really close here, and I know Evert lost some time here. Perhaps it was this route choice. Yeah, it looks like we lost his GPS tracking, so we're sadly not being able to see it, but I think he lost time going that route choice. And then he were behind Jörgen here into the arena passage. And Jörgen, who had Niklas Ekström's back to go on, started great on this second loop. And I think also to the 17th control, it was faster. Not certain. Looks quite tight. I was thinking that the left choice should be faster, but it goes really fast from the part where Evert and Apo is at the moment. So the same there, and then taking the same route choice. Evert Toivonen going to the left and going really fast into the control. And then we saw a small mistake from Jörgen Buckley that Evert Toivonen could catch up some seconds, but still behind him. And they are taking the same route choices here into the control. And Apo Vippola taking the left route choice, losing seconds there. Then going in there over the lake, and Jörgen still having those 10, 5, 15 seconds as it looks like on Evert. Taking the same route choices to the 21st control. And then we know to the last control, Evert did another route choice going around to the left and also coming into the control from behind, so he could just go through the control with speed and pass Jörgen on the last leg from the sprint to the finish. Apo Vippola in at 3rd position, and then Stanimir Belomashev at 5th position into the finish. Here we have the result list. Just 1 second. After 53.5 minutes of ski orienteering, 1 second was between Evert Toivonen and Jörgen Buckley. Apo Vippola, we see here at 11th, Gustav Nordström doing a good race. And then we had Olle Ilmarjama, 12th, the best Estonian today. And his brother was at 17th position. We see here 33, Øyvind Wiggen, not having the best race today. So, as I said yesterday, and we saw the results yesterday, those best guys that are top 10, they are top 10 every race almost. It's just depending on which positions, but looking at it, I think, looking at the result list from yesterday, they were almost... it's John Schneider who's missing, who was top 10, and he is still out there in the forest. But they are waiting for him to cheer him in to the finish, but as I said, not a good race at all for Sean Schneider. Looks like he turns around at the 20-second control. So he will not gain some seconds on Evert on this last leg. But it has been a really demanding race for the athletes out there. And as Daisy said quite much earlier when she finished her race in the top in the women's class, you had really to work with the focus, and maybe sometime you need to I work with that. I think a lot of athletes do. When they come out like on the longer legs, they can try to relax 10 seconds, don't think of it, and then you have to put it on again, focus again, and work with the mind there so you can rest your mind a bit also. But then when you do that, it's really important that you are being able to put it on again so you can come into the race again. And actually I was quite impressed by Stanimir Belmashev shouting at the arena passage something to the organizers. Doesn't look, he had lost some time, didn't look like he was in the right state of mind, and still ending up on the 5th position. The women's class, who was ended quite much earlier, Daisy Kutter-Schneider was winning ahead of Magdalena Olsson and then Anna Ulvensson. So those 3 were the best ladies, and they were quite clearly the best. I would say Daisy Kutter and Magdalena Olsson had a tough race against each other today. Magdalena had some possibilities and catched a lot of time in the end, a bit stronger than Daisy, and some small route chases better. But still, Daisy ending up on top, and we see the red and white. Sean Schneider, I think he might have picked up some positions. As I said, he was passing the arena's number 40, and looking at, of course, they will be going quite fast here, the positions. He will not beat Jan Lauenstein, his young teammate, I would say. And Sean, who also is sort of a trainer for the Swiss team and has worked hard, and I would say really setting the bar and pushing them to become better and better. And now we see, both in the men's and the women's class, we have Nicola Müller and Eliane Deininger as the best Swiss athletes, and they are always being able to fight for the top positions. So John Schneider, I would say, is leaving a big legacy. John Schneider and Christian Spurri, who was competing also for a long time with John.
Come here to the arena, you know where the entry to the fighting is.
So he comes into the 38th position. Still looking happy. I think he might have heard that his wife was the winner of today, and then something to be happy for. We see his father-in-law is coming there, Raul Kudre, also discussing what happened out in the forest today for Sean Schneider. Not certain. Of course, as I said, he lost a lot of time in the beginning. And the Bermuda Triangle out on the marshes, the second control. He was looking around himself. But happy for Daisy and the win. And that is something you feel as an athlete when you're out there. Daisy knows she is going well, but she doesn't know if am I 5th or am I 1st. But then when you get the TV cameraman going behind yourself, then it's like at a certain point you have to know, okay, I am really high up at the levels in the list at the moment, just have to keep on going. And that is something here in ski orienteering. As Evert said, he had a good start, and then he thought, it was maybe not as good. But you never know. And looking at these route choices, and just as yesterday, no one did the perfect race yesterday. So it's really important to always keep on working, because some races you're out in almost an hour, and you never know what you are you first or are you 10? There can be a lot of guys or girls with that possibility to have the same pace as you. So it's very important working with your emotions, with your mind, that thinking, I'm always in it. Just keep on working, and we are fighting for every second here. So we are waiting for the award ceremony. We know that they are picking the things together, and probably some of the athletes are getting collected and brought to this award ceremony that also will end the World Cup this season. And as I said, in the women's class, Magdalena Olsson was the overall winner, and I think I can count a bit, but Anna Ulvensen was second, and I think that Daisy Kudryschneider passed Elin Schagerström here on the last race. And in the men's class, in the World Cup, I am certain that Jörgen Backlid won. He were just ahead of Niklas Ekström and Nicola Müller, ending at the third position there. And so that is if I count the numbers correctly. Those are the top 3 athletes in the world overall. And it's always something that we are working for, to being the best overall skier for an entire season. It shows that you have possibilities and knowledge and form for every ski orienteering. As I said, there were quite different ski orienteering in Ramsau. The first day there was a downhill sprint with a lot of shortcuts and very dense narrow track system. And then the middle distance, there were one leg who was just uphill, choosing left or right and going hard for about 15 minutes. And on the women's side, Magdalena Olsson has been the best to conquer all of these different conditions. And on the men's side, Jörgen Backlid, the Norwegian. And the best nation this year will have to be Norway. They have been having a great season for both the women and men's side.
All right, Mark, come on, way to go. Looking good, Mark. All right, Mark, come on, let's go.
And of course, after this award ceremony, they will go back to their different living positions. And tonight, there will be a banquet celebrating the season and becoming friends again with every other nations. And it's an important part for this orienteering community, to having a nice dinner together and maybe doing some dancing and enjoying themselves. Here we get to see the top 6 ladies of the day. They are getting ready for the award ceremony, where I would say the biggest surprise today, Sari Väänänen at 6th position, 4.5 minutes behind Daisy Kuder-Schneider for the day. And I think she's very happy with that result. And also, of course, on the 5th position from Norway, Åsne Havengen. That was her career best, and she did a really good ending on the last loop, and almost actually caught up with Maria Hoskari and the Junior 23 world champion, because at 4th position, Maria Hoskari from Finland, she ended up 3:44 behind today's winner. But for the 3 bigger ladies this year, as I said, also the top 3 in the overall World Cup, there was nothing to do. Anna Ullensen from Norway taking the 3rd position, 2:22 behind Daisy Kuder-Schneider, having some difficulties, but overcoming them in the end, passing some of the athletes into the 3rd position. And from Sweden at the 2nd position, just 42 seconds behind the winner, Magdalena Olsson. And Magdalena will have to take another step up when we celebrate the total World Cup. But for today, the home girl who has waited the whole season to come up on the top again from Estonia, Daisy Kuder-Schneider, 49:05 was the winning time for her. And we heard she was really happy with that and had worked hard all the way, especially with her focus on the course. National anthem for Daisy Kudre, and I think also the organizers are maybe nice to have the Estonian national anthem here. And I think it's Rego Photography who has been out in the forest taking pictures also at the top 3 ladies. I have seen a lot of nice pictures of the athletes out in the forest. Anna Ullensen collecting her awards. And filling up the stadium here in Hania. Perhaps the whole village is here. As I said, I think it's around... I looked at Wikipedia, it's around 170 people living in Hania. So it's impressive having this kind of ski stadium and organizing events here regularly. And you see the biathlon arena, the shooting range in the back. And it's also been used for Estonian national championships. So we have the World Cup for the men, and on 6th place we have Henrik Fredriksen Aas from Norway, just 4 seconds ahead of Vegard Gulbrandsen on the 7th place. Ended this race good. He was a bit after in the beginning, but then worked his way all the way up to the 6th position. And the Bulgarian veteran, he has gotten 2 kids at home, and I think Stanimir is very pleased with his season, which he topped with the silver medal at the World Championship sprint distance. 4th today, he has been first, and he's letting some other Finnish take the lead today. 4th, Niklas Ekström from Finland. And on the 3rd position, just 1:03 behind Apo Vipola. We saw he was in the lead for a while and then had some difficulties with some route choosing last time, but he was always there up and stressing the other guys. But maybe not as stressed as these two were feeling. Jörgen Backlid passing the arena in the lead with just 15-20 seconds. And then losing with 1 second in the end, taking the 2nd position today. And just as Magdalena Olsson, he will be able to take a step up in the overall World Cup later. But this is the man of the day from Finland, Evert Toivonen, winning 53-26 and just with 1 second ahead of Jörgen Backlid, and he has been waiting for this. He has been working so hard, and you saw the entire team were happy for Evert's sake. They know he has been so close so many times.
Finland.
We had the Finnish national anthem for these guys, and especially for Evert Toivonen.
It was very exciting.
Just ahead of Jörgen Backlid and Apo Vippola.
Evert Toivonen,
This is the podium of the last World Cup race of the season.
Jörgen Backlid.
And you see only big smiles from these guys. You know exactly how much it means coming up on the podium after years of fighting, training, and working hard to come up there. So we also will have the U23 World Championship in the middle distance prize giving ceremony. So we are starting with the women's class there. Here we get to see some of the younger athletes, which were, some of them were really high in the standings, and some fighting for around top 10 positions. And on the 6th place there we had Edenstrand doing some kind of dance, probably a TikTok. I'm too old to know what is in there now, but that's my best guess. On 5th place, Vilma Pesu. Her mother Mervi was a great ski orientator, and Vilma is looking like she's going in her tracks. And on the 4th place, we had Birgit Dorothea Kleppo-Malmsten. She does the same dance as Eden on 6th position. They were 4th, 5th, and 6th, and we are going to the medals. The gold medalist from the sprint is pleased with the bronze today. Ella Turesson from Sweden. He was in the lead for a long time, but then got picked up by 2 other athletes. But another medal to hang at the home. And as I said, Åsne Havengen, he was 5th at the World Cup and 2nd today. This is probably her best race ever in her career, and something to keep on remembering. But for the favorite, I would say there was nothing to do. Maria Hoskari from Finland, she was always a bit ahead, even though she lost some seconds in the end. She was the one who gets to go up on the 1st position, Maria Hoskari, and it means that she's almost as tall as Åsne Havengen when she gets to stand on the 2nd, comparing to the 1st place. So she gets the medal, and then we will get to hear the Finnish national anthem once again. I think that was what Maria was looking for when she started this race. Big of applause for these top ladies and the U23 Ski Orienteering World Championship 2024. And Ella is still a junior, but the other ladies have gone up to the senior class. And that is something Ella will do next year. So these ladies are probably some of the next top athletes all the way. We have seen Maria being 4th, 5th, 6th. She is really in the top already, just climbing position by position. And I think she have all the possibilities to be the next Magdalena Olsson, the next Daisy Schneider. She is strong and she has a very good ski technician with the map. And now we get to see a lot of blue and white on the men's side. But we're starting with the red and white. From Switzerland at 6th place, Andri Georgi. Andri Georgi, who was really good at the European Champs last year. I think he's not as pleased with his entire season this year, but ending at the 6th position at the U23 World Championship, something to take with him. And then the brother Kudre, Timo Kudre at 5th position, the second best of the Estonians today. That beat by someone we'll see soon. Pyry Risanen. All these, both Timo and Pyry, still juniors, are gonna go up to the senior class and try to scare them a bit more. Then the bronze, we're going over, still standing the blue-white, Tuomas Uutinen from Finland. He were as much as third at the sprint also, so coming home with 2 bronze medals for Tuomas. And actually the second position, I'm a bit surprised because this Estonian guy, his strength is definitely the cross-country racks. But Ulil Mayama, silver medal at the U23 Ski Orienteering World Championships, still as a junior, showing that the capacity is great in this Estonian guy. And of course, for the gold medal winner, he won the gold this Friday. He won the race in Friday. He won the race yesterday. He were just 4 just in citation marks, but he gets to go on the top one more time, winning the gold medal U23 Ski Orienteering World Championship. Niklas Ekström from Finland. So he got to get 2 more gold medals home to his boy room. He helped Jörgen Backlid, but not too much to beat his teammate in the end. Singing the Finnish national anthem very close to the microphone.
lucky medal winners
And
in 23 category World Championships.
I think he also
Now we have a small break and then we will carry on with prize giving for orienteering, the ski orienteering World Cup overall.
yes.
Both in absolute
We continue
category
with
and
this,
in U23 category.
As I said,
And then
it's
also
important
the
overall
trophy
World
for
Cup
the team competition.
and the team competition. It's very important, the overall World Cup. It's important to win a World Cup race, but it's something to be the best the entire season. And in ski orienteering, it can be so much that happens. So if you show that over an entire season you are the strongest, we saw just some athlete coming into the finish with one pole, it's very valuable.